that go and youth. Yep, got that. And then just go ahead and put football game. Yeah.
That's good for you.
Yep. So good stuff, man. So check two.
Tell me, how is it coming
Did you
through?
hear anything? Check two. How's it sound?
Well, that's. Here, let me turn that. Turn the PA down.
Check two. That
1,
good?
2.
Check two. How we sound? Level? Good.
You don't like AC/DC?
You're both a little bit loud.
Are we a little loud?
Both a little loud.
Little
I can
loud.
bring
Okay.
that down.
Okay. That's what BJ likes, that AC/DC. Are you playing that air guitar in front of the mirror after you get out of the shower, BJ?
Is that better? Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Check
Tom
1.
Mute
1,
is
2.
your head referee. Check two.
Okay.
Check two.
Yeah, I'm
All
going
right.
to play Tommy a little bit of interview.
Well, we are back. Let's head and check in with head coach and athletic director Tim Manigault here at Concordia.
Okay. BJ, I do have a halftime with Meyer. It's a long one. It runs about 7 minutes. So.
My sister comes over 2 or 3 times a week and says, Jesus, pick the place up, please, you know. It's kind of like when we were kids, you know what I mean? She's like, really? What are you doing back there?
Don't
you know,
light any flames.
Is this like a Chinese restaurant / gym, or is it a financial firm? And then when I get my gambling tickets out, she's like, really? What kind of firm is this? You know?
Just don't let your mom see that, Joe.
I know. Tell you they were going to open up a... Exactly. At least he's normal, you know. That's exactly how he was when he was 16 years old, right? None of these guys ever grow up, you know. Oh man, never, man. I want to be a kid, man. I don't want to grow up, man. I don't want to get all the responsibility. Oh, don't we? Golly.
Hey, BJ, I think we're still good with our Glenbrook 2 spots. They should be good through the end of the month. And same with Jefferson Point, that 30. That's a Halloween spot. That should still be good.
We'll start at 6:40. So you want to hit the. You guys usually run 6 minutes of commercials at 6:34. 6:31. Yeah. So 6:34, you want to hit your commercials.
Yeah. By the way,
you go live and you run your 6 minutes of commercials. He runs 6 minutes of commercials.
sports. Our team's only goal is to improve athletes in every facet. PSM offers performance training to help athletes get better on the field, dedicated athletic rehabilitation and physical therapy to help them get better off of it, certified athletic trainers in our PSM schools providing daily support to our athletes, and a specialized orthopedic walking clinic when injury strikes. Call 260-266-4007 to speak to our care navigators or visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com to learn more about what we can do to improve athletes at all levels.
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
Give your home the curb appeal it deserves and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com. Request your virtual quote and use the code SummitCity for 15% off all power washing services today. That's kurtzmio.com, supporting the youth of Fort Wayne. Looking for a way to naturally aid in soothing aches, pains, and sore muscles and reduce inflammation from the skin? Want a relief in minutes? Try Alleviate. Contact Hillary Didier for details. You can find her at didier.hillary@gmail.com or call her at 260-312-1599.
The Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Come see us in Decatur at the 2733 Auto Mall and shop 7 brands in one location. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
Joint pain, sprains, strains, or a possible broken bone? Make the Parkview Ortho Express walk-in clinic your first stop when you have an orthopedic or sports injury. Parkview Ortho Express, located at the Sport One Parkview Fieldhouse, gives you access to quick care and orthopedic physicians when you need it most. Get x-rays, treatment, and referrals to Parkview Care, all in the convenience of a walk-in clinic. Parkview Ortho Express is open Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Call 260-266-4007 for more information. Developing athletes to be foundationally strong. Healthy and consistent training. Expert staff. Long-term athletic development. Parkview Sports Medicine Performance. Any athlete, any age, any skill level.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Matchup brings the Carroll Chargers to face off against the Cadets. Concordia's overall
of the high school football regular season. Our final Friday Night Lights focus takes us to Zoller Stadium here tonight. Hi, everybody, along with Joe Walburn, Tommy Norris, and the crew from SummitCitySports.com. I'm Joe Parson. And tonight, two teams in the middle of the pack in the Summit Athletic Conference to go at it. Concordia here tonight hosting Carroll. And the Chargers, despite dropping a 42-15 decision to Homestead at Charger Field last Friday night, nevertheless, Joe, Carroll has won 3 of its last 5 games, and the Chargers, over the previous 6 games, and if you throw up that 42 given up last Friday night, Spartans last week, over the previous 6 games, they are giving up only a Class 6A best, about 7 points a ball game. You look at last week's game, up front, led by 230-pound Larry Seibel, defensive lineman. He has 4 sacks last week, along with linebacker Matt Ottenweller. In the secondary, Cade Dinan. It's a familiar name, and Joe will tell you why. He leads with 3 interceptions. One of them, in fact, returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, you know, if you're the coach's son, you better know your assignment, and you better know where you're at. But you're right, Joe. This is an awesome defense, and maybe one of the bigger surprises this year in our conference is how good the Carroll defense has been. And you mentioned it, you know, with the points, giving up the points in 6A, been very impressive. But what I like about it is they're only giving up about 116 yards rushing a game. So to win at the high school football level, you want to run the ball, but you also want to have the ability to stop the run. That starts with the front 4 up front. You mentioned Larry Seibel, awesome with the 8 tackles for loss, the 4 sacks. How about Aaron Jackway, the sophomore, coming into his own? He's long, Joe, 6'4", 210 on the edge. Then also Andrew Murray and Wes Stevens. So a good front 4. Awesome linebackers. Now, we're not going to see Tucker Steele tonight. He's going to be out, but still the Ottenweller brothers and Hunter Murs, who doubles as a running back. So great defense. The secondary, we mentioned Cade Dinan, 3 interceptions. How about Vollmer out there? Ray Vollmer's tough out there, an all-conference corner, and the free safety, Lincoln Lance, is leading them in tackles. So Carroll comes in, giving up 116 yards on the ground, leading the area in interceptions with 10 interceptions. So getting the job done with the defense. They're going to need that tonight because offensively they're not going to have their quarterback tonight. And we know Jeffrey Becker. Jeffrey Becker is an absolute warrior. He played last week, Joe, with a bruised shoulder, and I wondered how he was going to get through that game, but the kid is such a gamer. He played through that. But I think it's a good decision tonight to sit Becker, let that shoulder heal. We're going to see Logan Swain tonight. I was watching him warm up, Joe. He throws a good ball. So that Carroll defense is going to have to pick up that offense tonight without their quarterback.
And the Chargers missing a few of their starters. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Concordia. They're just 1-2 here at Zoller Stadium, but those 2 losses were against Snyder and Dwenger. But when Concordia gets it going, the Cadets, as you know, Joe, they can play with just about anyone. Last week at Wayne, quarterback Brandon Davis threw for 2 touchdowns. Junior running back Amir drew 3 more rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been awesome, and you've always talked about how good Concordia has with their tradition with backs, and Amir Drew is in that same category, 5'10", 180, the junior, and not only great vision, Joe, but he has the toughness to run between the tackles, averaging almost 6 yards a carry on the season. He's well over 700 yards and 10 touchdowns. So when he smells the end zone, he gets there. So when you combine Drew with the passing of Brandon Davis has a 127 passer rating, Joe, and that's with 11 interceptions. So that shows you how good that when Davis throws the ball, 12 touchdowns, they're big plays. So the challenge tonight for Concordia is really to clean things up. Concordia, it's interesting, when I broke the game down, Joe, they're averaging almost 6 yards per play. Their opponents, almost 5. So Concordia is almost a yard better than their opponents. And when you break them down and look at it, they're net -5 on turnovers. So Concordia has 15 turnovers on offense. So think about that. That's 2 turnovers a game. So if Concordia can clean those turnovers up, and also the penalty yards, they beat Wayne last week, but they had 2 turnovers and 125 yards of penalties. So the challenge for Concordia is clean up the turnovers, clean up the penalties, and also you've got weapons on the outside. Vanderbrush and Grossman, the receivers, Joe, 45 catches, 775 yards, 9 touchdowns. So Concordia has some size up front. They've got some weapons on offense. They need to clean things up for tonight and as we head into the playoffs.
Chargers Cadets here tonight in the rain, where home field advantage may not necessarily be an advantage. Chargers won here in 2017. The Cadets, they have taken 2 straight victories at Charger Field. We'll take a timeout, then return with our Meyer pregame show, and we'll also check in with both head coaches. Tim Manigault, the head coach and athletic director of Concordia Lutheran, will join us the other side of the break. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250, The Ticket.
How big's the break a minute? 1 minute.
BJ, I didn't bring my format sheet. This is a 3-minute break, isn't it?
3 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
3.
Like I say, if you
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
Looking for a way to naturally aid in soothing aches, pains, and sore muscles and reduce inflammation from the skin? Want a relief in minutes? Try Alleviate. Contact Hillary Didier for details. You can find her at didier.hillary@gmail.com or call her at 260-312-1599. Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps. The Holiday Hoops Developmental Camp is for ages pre-K through 8th grade. You'll work on shooting, dribbling, passing, and defense December 24th through January the 2nd on Tuesday and Thursdays. And the Always 100 Pro Camp 2020 takes you to the next level. It's the real college experience for grades 1 through 12. It's June 8th through June 11th at Trine University.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Parkview Sports Medicine's integrated sports medicine team is built to serve the needs of all athletes in all sports. Our team's only goal is to improve athletes in every facet. PSM offers performance training to help athletes get better on the field, dedicated athletic rehabilitation and physical therapy to help them get better off of it, certified athletic trainers in our PSM schools providing daily support to our athletes, and a specialized orthopedic walk-in clinic when injury strikes. Call 260-266-4007 to speak to our care navigators or visit ParkviewSportsMedicine.com to learn more about what we can do to improve.
Parkview Sports.
High school, I got to think about this because tomorrow night I got Concordia University.
Yes.
You got some ex-players,
Yes.
Peter Morrison,
Yes.
Drew Bordner,
Yes.
and a lot of players. I'm sure you and some of your coaches are going to be there for the game. But let's talk about high school football here tonight. And this cadet team last week with a win over Wayne, and you got 3 rushing touchdowns from Amir Drew. And Coach, I don't know how you do it, but year in, year out, you seem to find just a bevy of running backs coming out and leading the way. And talk about Amir Drew. What special skill set does he possess, and what makes him so special?
Amir's a really good inside the tackles runner. He would be sort of your prototypical fullback if you ran the old I formation, which of course we don't do. He's really tough up the middle and runs hard, and he's a tough guy, I think, for opposing teams to tackle. He probably doesn't have that real elite top end speed, but he's tough to bring down. He chunks yards, 8 to 10 to 15. And he's a good player for what we like to do with our offense. So we're really pleased with his progression this year.
We've talked for years that as good as a running back is and can be, you got to have a hole to run through. And you've got an offensive line, fairly young offensive line, led by Caleb Asher, the big senior. And talk about, again, the ability to make things happen for Amir Drew.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't know what we had on the offensive line coming into the season. We knew we were replacing virtually everyone. We had to move some guys who were defensive players to offense at the beginning of the season, and we've been really pleased. They've always been pretty good, this particular group, in terms of pass blocking, setting up a pocket for our quarterback. But I think the run blocking is really coming along too. Last week against Wayne, we were able to get really good push, control the line of scrimmage really most of the game, and that helps a kid like Amir out too, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, they're young, they're inexperienced. Games like tonight are difficult because we're playing a really, really stout defense. But we're getting better, and we're encouraged as we head into the postseason.
It's interesting. We usually talk about home field advantage, but I look at this Carroll Concordia series over the last 3 years, and you win there. In fact, the last 2 visits you've won there. They won last year here. I should say they won I'm all mixed up right now.
Yeah.
But again, it hasn't been really a home series contest. And talk about the matchup tonight against the Chargers.
Well, I do kind of feel like home field is a little bit overrated in high school football. I'm not sure we have the deafening crowds or anything like that. I think what you've had the past 4 years is just good Concordia teams playing there and good Carroll teams playing here. Tonight we're playing a good Carroll team. They've been impressive. We saw them on film already week 2 of this year, their game against Snyder, and we were really impressed with the way they played Snyder. Very physical defensively, and then their offense really is run by that quarterback. I mean, he's a good player, and he possesses some things that most teams struggle against, but we certainly struggle against, which is the ability to really make something happen when things break down. He can run well, obviously throws well, so our ability to move the ball against what I think is a pretty good SAC defense, and then our ability to contain the quarterback and not let him single-handedly beat us is important tonight.
Coach Tim Manigault with his pregame thoughts. 10 years now as head man of the Concordia Lutheran Cadet Football Program, also the athletic director. They come in at 3-4. They're tied for number 6 in the SAC, and in the 3A rankings, the Coaches Poll, the IHSAA Coaches Poll, has them ranked number 11. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll be back with his counterpart, Doug Dinan, also in his 10th year, head coach at Carroll, when we return. This is IHSAA Football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket. 2 minutes.
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Looking for a way to naturally aid in soothing aches, pains, and sore muscles and reduce inflammation from the skin? Want a relief in minutes? Try Alleviate. Contact Hillary Didier for details. You can find her at didier.hillary@gmail.com or call her at 260-312-1599.
And we're back with head coach Doug Diney. You know, Coach, I know statistics don't always tell the story, but I got to believe in my heart of hearts that Carroll's still one of the best 6A defensive scoring teams in the state, leading the state in 6A statistics. And I know he gave up 42 last week, but there's still something to be proud of with this Carroll Charger defense.
Oh, we've been very proud of our performance throughout the whole year, and even last week, you know, things got out of control at the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. You know, but, you know, our kids play hard, you know, and the determination of a good defensive team is, do they fly to the ball? Do they tackle well? Do they create turnovers? And that's been the case all year long, and our kids have done that.
You know, this point in the season, you've got injuries, and you got to really employ that next man up philosophy. And what they say, when it rains, it pours, and you've got some problems here tonight.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we've got a few kids out with concussion, you know, and you know, we're never going to, you know, push a kid through. I mean, you're always going to err on the side of the caution, even, you know, especially with a brain injury like that. And so, you know, we got a couple younger guys that have to play today, and you're exactly right. I mean, it's high school athletics, and everybody's out here for a purpose, and that purpose is it's your turn to play, and so it's their turn to show.
Tonight here at Concordia, we're kidding Tim Manigault that looking over the recent series the last few years, there's no such thing as home field advantage. You won here, I think, your last trip a couple of years ago, and they've won at your building the last two trips there. And talk about the Cadets. They always seem they come to play.
Yeah, they're always a well-coached team. Tim's a great coach. Offensively, they've got a lot of firepower. They've got good receivers, good quarterback. Their running game's good. You know, we've got to do those things defensively that we've done all year long. We've got to defend the run. We've got to be physical up front. We've got to defend the pass, and we've got to create turnovers. You know, and offensively, we got to do just the opposite. We've got to control the line of scrimmage. We've got to be able to run the ball. You know, and we've got to be safe with the ball and take care of it.
Do you key on Amir Drew?
Well, without question, it always starts with the run game. It always starts with the run game. And you've got to defend the run first, and so that's where everything begins, you know, regardless of the opponent. You know, so, you know, that's one of the major keys.
Head coach Doug Diney, as we mentioned, in its 10th year, the Chargers right now 4-3. They're tied for 4th place in the SAC. A year ago they were 3-7, so the Chargers already had that record from a year ago. They lost to Snyder in the sectionals 49-30. Let's take another timeout. Let's plan for 1 minute. We've got the meeting at midfield, the reenactment of the coin toss coming up. We'll be back. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket. I hope I can give you a minute.
Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps. The Holiday Hoops Developmental Camp is for ages.
The real heavy stuff and the threat of thunder and lightning stays away. AccuWeather said around 9 o'clock we might get some thunderstorms in here, so imparting that information to both coaches and hoping this one can get well underway and done. We get out of here before maybe the heavy stuff comes in. Other games going on. Number 6, Snyder hosting number 5, Dwenger. They're in different classes, of course. Wayne at Homestead. Spartans number 3 this week. Let's go down for the meeting at midfield, the reenactment with Joe Walburn and our referee, Tom Yu.
Hey, one last thing. Fellas, we're going to play smart, good sportsmanship. Don't do anything stupid, okay? Let's have fun. Okay, Carroll won the toss.
There you hear it, Joe. Carroll wins the toss. They're going to defer, so we'll see that Concordia offense run away. As far as the field's in good shape, Joe. It was pretty hard when we came out here, and the rain has softened it up a little bit. It's just a light rain. It could be a little slick at some point, so we'll see how the ball is handled. But big conference game for both teams. It's huge because both teams are around the 500 mark, so you want to finish the conference with a winning conference season, and you want to get some momentum for the playoffs. And I have to say, Joe, I love the memorabilia of going down in the halls of Concordia and down the stadium to see your dad, Frank Parson. God rest his soul. It was awesome to see the memorabilia, and you forget how dominant those zoner softball teams were, Joe. That was really awesome. I enjoyed that.
Thank you very much, Joe, for the kind thoughts. We'll be back in a hurry at the start of tonight's ball game, IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket.
The comets falling from the sky, 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 comets falling from the sky.
Give your home the curb appeal it deserves and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Additional services include concrete ceiling, deck and fence cleaning, driveway.
Cam Johnson back deep, and he returns the kick, brings it across the 15, 20, 25. It's some running room across the 30 up to the 35-yard line or thereabouts. Good return. Cam Johnson came in, had 3 kickoff returns last week, averaged 21 yards a kick return, and for the season over 22 yards. And decent field position now for the Concordia Cadets. 1st and 10, moving from right to left here as we look at it at Zoller Stadium. 58 degrees, the weatherman says, under rainy skies. Winds out of the west at about 13 miles an hour. It looks very strong at field level as well. It looks to be more out of the south-southwest. So we will see how that may or may not impact the passing game for both teams here this evening. 1st and 10, quarterback is Brandon Davis. He's a 5'10 junior. A lot of juniors on this team. We'll give it to Amir Drew, and runs back, angling to his left, and brings it out for about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And a good pursuit. Wes Stevens closed things off, had containment Joe to the right side, and it'll be a short gain, 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Coach Menego comes out and attacks Carroll. Carroll's really good defending the pass, so I imagine Amir Drew will get a lot of carries tonight.
We were watching the flags on the down at field level. They were straight out, so it looks like that's going to be a factor. It will help if you're throwing from right to left, which Concordia is, unless the ball sails on you. One back look, Amir Drew just gained a yard. Davis out of the pistol, looks once the short drop, throws to the right, got a catch in the seam at the 42. And again, is up just short of the first down stick at about the 44-yard line. I was watching Jalen Vanderbosch, who leads him with 28 catches, coming in over 420 yards. Everybody's Odell Beckham. He was down there making one-handed catches.
I know, they love to warm up like that, the kids, and catch that ball with one hand, but game like tonight, you want to have both hands on the ball, and that's kind of the controlled Concordia passing game, Joe. They'll come out and show you different formations, different sets, and that time they just hit you with the hook. So he's got some good weapons, Davis does, and Vanderbosch. We mentioned him, we mentioned Grossman. Also, Jaron Kiddick and Jaden Perrin, Joe, are good receivers too. So Concordia's got a lot of weapons on offense.
Cadets need a yard. They were 4 of 11 for 36%. Here's motion now left to the right side of the line. And they'll give it to Amir Drew, and does have the first down, and in fact, much more as he breaks into the second level. Carroll brings it down to to about the 46-yard line of the Chargers.
Yeah, what makes Drew so good, as you saw at that time, the ability to hit the hole and hit the hole fast, Joe. One cut and go, and Drew's 5'10", 180, and he's tough to tackle.
And, Joe, what impresses me, everybody in the stadium knows he's getting the ball.
Yeah, it does. And, he comes in 10 touchdowns, almost 6 yards a carry. And you mentioned it before the game. Seems like every year we come out here, Concordia has a dominant running back.
They find him somewhere. Tim Manigault is going back to Dean Dorfler. 1st and 10 at the Charger 46-yard line. Cadets at the right side hash mark now. Brandon Davis wants to throw. 2-step drop. Throws the home run ball downfield. Looking, that ball is caught, but was it caught in bounds?
I like that ball. He caught out of bounds. That's going to be incomplete. And for Carroll, looked like that was Ray Vollmer out there on the coverage. And I tell you, I like Ray Vollmer, Joe.
Well, Coach Dinan said that he will not start here tonight, that we expect him back.
I'm
we're
sorry.
We're going to have a hard problem getting some of these names because
Actually, you're right. That was 25, Brandon Klug. So excuse me on that, and you're right. Vollmer's not playing the first quarter, and I love coming out watching Vollmer because he plays with an edge. But that was good coverage that time with number 25 Klug out there for Carroll. But how about Concordia, Joe? Early on, they try to stretch that Carroll defense to throw that ball deep.
2nd down and 10. Carroll drops 2 back, actually 1, and here's Drew picking his way up the middle, drags a tackler down to the 41-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down call. But again, Amir Drew, who is 5'10". He's a junior, 180 pounds, and just amazing, this very young Concordia team. They start a lot of juniors up front. Their offensive line averaging 262 a man tackle to tackle. Jackson McKinney at center, along with Caleb Asher. He's the veteran center at 335, 6'1". Bladen Esslinger and Larry Schoenfeld, along with Bubba Craig, a freshman at 6'6", 315.
Gotta love that. Bubba Craig. That's an offensive lineman name right there, isn't it?
Another 3rd down call coming up for the Cadets. They need about 4.5 yards. Again, Davis taking a long count. Play clock is down to 2. Option run to the right side. The pitch to Drew. Mayor Drew shakes off 1 tackle, but he's not going to get to the 1st down stick. He has a gain down to about the 39, maybe the 38-yard line. So bring up 4th down and a decision early on now for Tim Manigault. Do they play possession? Do they try to field possession? Do they kick the ball, or do they gamble on a 4th down and still 3 coming up?
I gamble here. It's early in the game. You got a chance to send a message to your kids. Carroll's missing some guys on defense. You just came out and you had some success running the option. 4th and 3, this is where I try that controlled passing. You got great receivers out there in Vanderbosch and Grossman, Joe. So if I'm Concordia, I throw a short pass here and get this 1st down.
Yeah, Jaron Kindig comes wide to the left side. He had 5 catches last week. Here's a throw to the right. That's a catch made at the 1st down stick. So it'll be 1st and 10.
I like that play. That's a nice job. Vanderbosch runs a nice route, Joe. One of the players you really like when we break the game down. And that's that control pass. You get trips on the left, Joe. And what Davis does well there is he looks the play off. He looks his receiver off, comes back, 4-yard route, and all they needed was 3 yards. Precision and execution.
And a nice run by Vanderbosch. Just ran a little simple square out to the spot. And that's always a key for the receivers. You got to get to where that 1st down stick is. You don't want to come up empty. New set of downs for the Cadets now. They've got it 1st and 10 at the 35 of the Chargers. Opening series of the ball game. 3 wide this time to the left side. Motion out of it. Back to the right behind the line of scrimmage. They'll reset for Drew. Here's a pivot to left side. And here's a throw going in traffic. The catch is made, or wasn't, at the 12. And let's see, they're going to rule it no catch.
I thought Grossman had it, but that was a great close by Brandon Klug, who gets the start tonight. 25 for Carroll, Joe. Grossman had a step on him, but Klug closes down and makes the play. So that was a big play for Klug to knock that ball away. I thought Concordia was going to get a big play.
Yeah, remember Tyler Grossman goes 6'1". He actually elevated to go up and try to get that ball. Had it in hands for a moment, but it was no good. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 on the incompleted pass. Takes the clock down to 6:56. Time remaining, still the opening series of the ball game. Same set, 3 wide to the left side. That's the wide side of the field. Quick hitting play. Drew tripped up. Won't get much. Maybe only to about the 35 or just inside of it. So it'll be 3rd down and still long for Concordia.
And that's the middle linebacker, Ottenweller, Joe. 6'1", 180. The senior makes that tackle and comes up and and does a nice job, number 5.
And Jimmy Potter, who is one of the defensive coaches, a wealth of information. Willer didn't even play football last year.
And that's unbelievable because he's so instinctive at the middle linebacker, Joe. And, we talked about before the game, 9 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. And I can't believe this is his first year of football because he's so instinctive out there.
3rd down and long, 3rd down and 10, in fact. Davis looking, short drop, 2-step, looks, loads, fires down the left side, looking at that ball nearly incomplete, or I should say intercepted, but it was dropped, so it'll bring up 4th down now.
Yeah, that's good defense out there by Carroll. And Carroll has really, hung their hat this year on the fact they can defend the pass. They come in with 10 interceptions, leading the area, and you see it there. So Concordia really is trying to attack down the field, and I may come back and try to establish Amir Drew a little bit, but 4th down here, 4th and long, you're kind of in no man's land. I don't think you get much out of it punting it here, so I think you roll the dice here, and maybe you have a misdirection player, and maybe you can roll Davis out in the boot, Joe, and push the ball down the field.
4th down and 10. Got to get to the 25 now. And they'll stay with 3 wide to the left. We're down to 5 already on the play clock to 3 to 2. Empty backfield. They get the play off. Stepping up and running, but going nowhere. Well, a late delivery of the ball, but they may say down on contact.
Yeah, he looked like he was down, and that was Wes Stevens, the senior, 5'11", 235, from the defensive line position, and he just beats the Concordia offensive guard, Joe, and Davis had no time for that play to develop. They were deep routes, but Stevens got to him so fast, and that should be a sack. And how about that front 4 for Carroll? That's really helped Carroll this year. A lot of us didn't think Carroll would be that physical up front, but with Wes Stevens and Jackway and Seibel out there, they've been dominant, Joe. So big stop for the Carroll defense, and now we're going to see, first varsity start, Logan Swain for Carroll.
Yeah, Jeffrey Becker out, being held out of tonight's ball game, and also Mason Englert will not play tonight. And we will not see Tucker Steele out because of concussion. Now there was a penalty, Joe, apparently, so that's going to move the ball up.
Grounding. I don't think it should have been grounding because it's 4th down. I thought he was in the grasp. That should have been a sack, but that's a penalty. And look, that pushes Carroll, Joe, all the way out to their 43, so that's going to help the young quarterback with his first few snaps here.
Yeah, they run full house backfield as Swain under center looks to hand it off deep. Here's a cut to the right side, and Concordia is there to bring it. Under Mertz got the call, but nowhere to go.
Yeah, and Concordia's defense is underrated. And we talked about the pregame, only giving up 5 yards per play defensively, and really only 280 yards in the season they give up overall a game. So pretty good defense, and I like the play of Sam Hudson, Joe. 5 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss for Concordia.
Concordia comes in with 46 tackles for loss on the year and 11 sacks in all. Here's a deep handoff once again, off tackle run, and they'll get some of that yardage. Well, maybe not, as that'll be a gain only back to about the 40. One official marks it at the 45, the other standing at the 43. We'll see where they actually put the ball down.
Yeah, Carroll's being careful with the power game and running the ball to Hunter Mers, but Concordia is lining up to stop that, and really it kind of backfires for Carroll because now it's 3rd and long. You got to put the ball in the air, and if you have a young quarterback, sometimes it's more helpful to throw the ball on 1st down. So this is tough here on 3rd and 10.
No Jeffrey Becker. Again, Concordia shows blitz, high snap. Swain's got it. Time in the pocket, screens it out to the left side. There's a run upfield, but not to the 1st down. They'll get it only out to about midfield, just about to the 49 of the Chargers. So it is going to be 3 and out for Carroll. Again, a lot of missing players tonight.
Yeah.
And they'll kick the ball away, and Concordia will get their second possession as we have just under now 5.5 minutes time remaining opening quarter. We have no score between Concordia and Carroll.
And Carmody that time out of the backfield shows you how good his hands are for Carroll.
Trevor Horton back to punt, gets the snap, steps into it at about the 38-yard line. Ball is going to bounce. Takes a Carroll bounce inside the 15 down to about the 14-yard line, and that is where the Cadets will go back on offense here with 5:11 remaining in this opening quarter. 58 degrees here at kickoff. We mentioned rain expected. The question, Joe, is will it be only rain, and can we get this one and get it out before maybe some of the heavy stuff and some of the rain, the thunder and lightning comes in?
Yeah,
potentially.
Definitely. Yeah, there's some heavy stuff behind, but I think we'll get the game in. But right now it's a miss, but as this game goes on, that ball is going to get slick, Joe, and I could see that time for the Carroll quarterback, Swain, he was kind of loosening his grip a little bit. So when the ball gets slick, you have to loosen your grip a little bit as a quarterback.
Cadets from their own 15-yard line now, moving from right to left as the mist builds. Now, and here's Drew, met right at the point of attack and did not get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be a yard and a half stop short ball back inside the 14-yard line.
And Carroll is just swarming every time Drew gets the ball. That time it was number 33 making the tackle, Larry Seibel. And Seibel's been awesome this year, Joe. 6'4", 230, plays much bigger, 30 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, and 4 sacks. A great high school football player.
Jimmy Potter shared a story with Max Green, and he was a fellow that broke his leg last year, but is playing in defensive line. Here's a quick screen to the right side. They need a block. They won't get it. But second effort, and a run across the 20-yard line, or up across the 15, I should say, to the 20, to short of the first down stick, out to about the 23-yard line. But Max Green, they said he's got a flowing hair lock. He's got a dark beard. And they call him Thor. And Jimmy Potter said he just bought a bulldog. He's got a puppy named a bulldog, and guess what he named him? Thor.
That's a great story. I tell you, sometimes we forget how much fun these high school kids are. I tell you, go down before the game and got a chance to talk to him, talk to Tucker Steele, who's not playing night, great kid, and then the article about Ottenweiler, the inside linebacker, we were talking about with the pilot's license. I mean, think of that. Think of the responsibility and the discipline of Matthew Ottenweiler, Joe, to hold a pilot's license. It just says an awful lot about these kids. And sometimes we come out and we watch them run through the two-hole or make the tackle. We forget a lot of the neat things and a lot of the neat hobbies they're involved in.
These kids aren't like we were when we were young.
I wasn't flying a plane at that age, let me tell you that.
You were lucky to drive a car.
Exactly. And I didn't have a flowing mane. I had a stepfather who had a shaver who would have took care of that, too. So I guess times change for the good and for the bad sometimes, right, Joe?
By the way, they brought out the chains, and Concordia does have a first down, 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Now with just over 4 minutes time remaining here, still in the opening quarter, we have no score. Again, the Cadets will spread 3 wide to the left side, 1 to the short side. Here's Brandon Davis under pressure, throws to a spot, looking downfield, and then he's got a catch up in midfield. No, they rule it no catch.
Boy, I thought he had it. And you got to make that catch. Davis throws. It was a cover two, Joe, and Davis muscles that ball down there, but the middle fielder, Lincoln Lance at free safety, he's been awesome. He's an all-conference player. I talked to him before the game, too. 5'11", 175, leads them in tackles. So that says a lot about the toughness that Carroll has at safety.
That'll stop the clock with 3:55 remaining here in the opening quarter. Now to be 2nd down and 10. Lincoln Lance, the lone safety back there, but they actually drop one of the corners back as well. Expecting pass in the situation. 2nd down and long by the Cadets. Again, they'll hand it off. Amir Drew wrapped up right about the 24, 25-yard line. And a little adjustment now defensively by the Chargers, beginning to key and having some success on stopping Amir Drew.
Yeah, they are. And right now, Carroll's winning the battle up front. On that play, Aaron Jackway, the sophomore, another kid, Joe, it's his first year of playing football. He's back at it. He gets upfield from his defensive end positions and turns Drew in, and Seibel makes the tackle. So right now for Concordia, and Tommy Norris makes a great point too, the play's coming in slow, Joe. Concordia doesn't really have much of a rhythm getting out of the huddle, and right now they're having problems blocking that Carroll front four.
Craig McGinnis in there, one of the inside linebackers. A lot of new numbers for tonight for the Chargers. Short drop again. Here is a scramble run, and not going much of anywhere. Brandon Davis hauled down from behind, gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 24 only. So it'll be a quick 3-out for the Cadets now. And, as this game begins to develop, Joe, you get the feeling one score in a game like this, it's a defensive battle, looks large.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great point because the field's getting muddier, the ball's getting slicker, and that Carroll front four is starting to take over. So Coach Manigault, who's a wizard with the offensive plays, needs to have something better in the next possession.
Here comes the kick away. Leighton Mitchell trying to track that down, takes a bounce, takes a bit of a Concordia bounce outside, but it's going to be still in Concordia territory out around the 39-yard line. So again, Carroll will have a great field position With 2:26 remaining this opening quarter, we have no score between Concordia and Carroll.
And if I'm Coach Diney, I attack here, Joe. I mean, I know you have a young quarterback. The first series, you were careful with your quarterback. You have great field position. You have the ball in their territory. Logan Swain, I watched him before the game. He throws a nice football. I come out here and I throw the ball. You got to remember, you've got Leighton Mitchell on the outside, Joe. He leads the area with 8 touchdown catches, and you have a fantastic tight end in Bransfield, 6'3", 220. Get the ball to your big tight end. He could be your safety blanket.
Offensive line for Carroll averaging 256 a man. Tackle. They got motion now left and right behind the line of scrimmage. They want to run the ball, and there's Concordia, but a little second effort that time as Luke Carmody in there to run the football. They had 11 carries for 44 yards last week.
Yeah, he is. He's a good running back. He runs hard between the tackles. But I tell you, Concordia's on it, Joe. You know, Concordia's going to sell out now and stop the run because they see the backup quarterback in the game. And if you're Carroll, you got to open up the offense. You have to have faith in the quarterback. You've got a lot of weapons on the outside to get the ball to.
A little motion again, this time to the far side, and they'll hand it off. There's Carmody, stepped out of one tackle, still on his feet, drives inside the 35 and down to about the 34-yard line. And that'll be short of the first down. It'll bring up a third down call with just 98 seconds remaining in this fast-moving first quarter. No score. And we'll see what Doug Dinan comes up with.
Yeah, and Carmody, Joe, only a sophomore, 5'9", 155. He's got 20 carries in the season, about 5.5 yards per carry. But I put the ball in the air here if I'm Carroll.
Bowden Height up in the slot to the left side here. Swain to throw. Looks left. He throws in a diving attempt at the ball, but I believe that was incomplete. I think it dropped short. Intended out there for Tyler Morrison. And so it brings up fourth down, and do you go for it on a night like this?
Yeah, and that play's there. That time they were looking for Leighton Mitchell, and what happened was Swain, his feet were slipping, so Swain's got to plant that back leg and throw a good ball. And that one-on-one coverage up top to Mitchell is there. I come right back to that play if I'm Carroll, and that's where I attack.
Cadets with two safeties back. Mitchell wide to the right. Here's a roll to right by Swain. Throws short, completes at the 20-yard line, at the 30-yard line, and they will have the first down, 1st and 10 at the Cadet 22-yard line.
And that's Bransfield. Bransfield, 6'3", 220. Watched him warm up, Joe. He caught everything. As a quarterback, I love playing with a big, dominant tight end because he was always easy to find, and you saw that time Bransfield just moves right across the formation.
And they used Mitchell as a decoy to kind of clear out now. Here's Carmody on a sweep to the left side, looking to cut it up, and drags tacklers down to about the 23-yard line, but did he get back to the line of scrimmage as the final minute running out here at Zollner Stadium?
Yeah, not much there, but Carmody's a young back with lots of ability, Joe, but what he has to learn is on those outside sweeps, at some point in a run, you have to plant your outside leg and commit to turning your pads and getting upfield. That time, Carmody never committed to the run, and Concordia is too good with their linebackers to chase that play down.
By the way, Nathan Spade in there at tackle right side. Here is a run-off tackle. Gain down to the 20 to about the 19-yard line, and let's see if we get another play off. It'll be a third down call for the Chargers coming up. Still 14 seconds remaining. Nathan Spade, Joe, though, 330, a senior at 6'5". As we're down to the final seconds, it looks like we will go to the second quarter in a scoreless tie here at Zollner Stadium between Concordia and Carroll. And this is IHSAA football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket. Okay, BJ, look.
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Looking for a way to naturally aid in soothing aches, pains, and sore muscles and reduce inflammation?
Joe Walbert and Tommy Norris of the SummitCitySports.com crew. I'm Joe Parson. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Chargers. They've got it at the Concordia 19-yard line. They'll go back to that full house set. Tailback and 2 blockers up in front. Swain under center, pitches the ball. And here's a run to the right side. Trying to turn the corner. They needed 7 yards. The gain will be inside the 15, and we'll see if they've got enough.
Yeah, good job by Hunter Mers. That time you saw Mers at the end of that run turn his pads, Joe, and drive upfield. So he's going to be close to that 1st down marker. I think it's going to be 4th and maybe about half a yard, and I'd turn around and give Mers the ball. So we're going to see. This is power on power. Let's see if that big Carroll offensive line can push Concordia back.
Need about a yard. Under center, Swain looks, hands it off. There's Mers again, off tackle, drives forward. And let's see, it depends on the spot of the football. It was 4th down and a yard.
Yeah, I think he got it, Joe. That's going to be a 1st down, and that's funny. You use your outside linebacker. Mers comes in. He's known for his defense, Joe, but he's got 6 rushing touchdowns. So when they need a big back, they give the ball to Mers. So that gives some comfort for the young quarterback, Logan Swain, to turn around and hand that ball off to Mers. And also, you mentioned it, Joe, up front, the offensive line. Great size for Carroll.
1st and 10 now at the 13-yard line. They work from the right side hash mark. Tight running offense in their right now formation. Swain looks to give it off deep again. Here's a sweep coming off tackle left side, and Concordia making a play. With a tackle made on Mertz back outside the 10 and around the 14-yard line. That should be a loss of about a yard and a half.
Yeah, that's a nice play out there. Come up and make that tackle for Concordia, Joe. I tell you, I thought he had the edge that time, but Concordia comes up from the secondary position and makes that tackle and bookmark that play. That's huge because now you got 2nd and long, and if that tackle's not made, Merce is probably heading into the end zone.
Carroll can't pick up a 1st down at the 3 or inside the 3 without scoring. Now they've spread the field too wide to the right side. Swain rolls right, looking, needs a block, now throws late, and that ball, it was intended on the right side. I believe it was incomplete, and tough on a night like tonight, Joe, to get a good grip on the ball with heavy mist in the air.
Yeah, and you got to get those reps. As Logan Swain gets more reps in the quarterback position, he'll understand, Joe, that on that play action boot, that ball has to come out fast to Bransfield. Bransfield's running open. He's 6'3", 220. Get him the ball early, because if Bransfield can turn upfield, he can make some guys miss. So that time Swain kind of held the ball, was looking at all of his options. That ball has to come out faster.
And we're going to take a timeout. Carroll trying to get the play wagged in. We'll step out. We have no score, but still Carroll the best scoring opportunity tonight at the 14-yard line of Concordia. When we return to Zollner Stadium, no score. And this is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket. Just a 30.
Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps. The Holiday Hoops Developmental Camp is for ages pre-K through 8th grade. You'll work on shooting, dribbling, passing, and defense. December
rain, we've got it right now. Heavy mist here at Zollner Stadium. Hope you're enjoying tonight's game on SummitCitySports.com. You can locate them on Twitter at 260sports. Sponsors also include LS Tech, a Mexican restaurant, and Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Get ready for live action once again. Here's Swain wanting to throw, loads up, throws over the middle, and that one is way high and incomplete. Threw that beyond the end line, and it will bring up 4th down and 11 still at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, good defense for Concordia. Swain was looking for the split post, but Concordia had it covered. So I tell you, Carroll had some nice movement on that drive, but Concordia slows it down. And I go back to that tackle on that end run, Joe, how big that was to kill this drive.
By the way, some numbers on Logan Swain, a junior at 6'3", is 3 out of 5 coming in for the year for 38 yards. Did complete a pass last week for 7 yards. They'll attempt a field goal now. Trevor Horton on. This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt, and it is no good. There is a penalty flag, I believe. No, that's a reflection in the mirror.
But I tell you, how about Concordia's defense, Joe? That's a good stop because Carroll had a chance to get some points on the board.
Yeah, coming in, Trevor Horton was 4 out of 7 with a long of 41. But again, on a wet night like this, tough to get a hand on the ball on the hold, and it was no good.
Yeah, good stop with the Concordia defense. And quickly up on the Summit City platform, we have some updates, Joe. How about those Archers? That was a tough loss last week with Northside. And good old Jeff Mahoney, he did put the pictures up. There is a totem pole, and they still play for it, and Jeff made me aware of that. But right now, Southside 6, Bishop Lures nothing in the first quarter.
Now from the 20-yard line comes Concordia. They'll have a little motion right to left behind the line of scrimmage, and here's a handoff to Amir Drew, and tries the left side. There's nothing there. That right side defensively by Carroll stiffening. You know, Joe, we mentioned their tremendous numbers. They come in, and I got to believe in my heart that they are the best 6A team in the state of Indiana at 4-3.
Yeah, they are. Definitely they are. And you made the great point because, as Tommy Norris always says, defense wins championships. If you can't score, you can't lose. And before last week's game, only 6 points a game. And they're also shuffling some pieces around, Joe. He's tinkering a little bit to get a little bit more of a pass rush. So it's going to be interesting how, that game evolves. And now we see Vollmer's in the game now, Joe.
You read my mind. Is now it's 2nd down and long. Short drop. Here is Brandon Davis looking. Tom in the pocket. Throws to the left side. And leaping for that ball. The catch is made, but they're going to be out of bounds very quickly.
Yep, and that's going to be a positive play for Concordia. And I like the way Brandon Davis held that football, Joe. He could have forced that into some coverages, but he let the play develop, and he went to his third option. So that tells me that Brandon Davis is seeing the field. So it wasn't a first down, but that was a nice positive play. Now it's 3rd down. I would come and run the option here with Davis and Drew. Drew is such a threat on the edge that I think the option gets it done. But it's good to see Ray Vollmer out there. I love Ray Vollmer. He plays with the edge. He's an all-conference player. He's always been one of my favorites.
I'll tell you what, Brandon Davis has got to be seeing the field better than we are here in the rain. Now here's Davis to throw again. Looks left side. Tough for traffic. Now the catch is going to be ruled caught, I believe, up around the 35.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what? Actually, they're going to say he juggled that ball out of bounds. I thought he had it initially. Looked like Grossman was what they were looking for, but couldn't pull it in, Joe. And again, that Carroll defense, and that's Diamond out there, the coach's son on the coverage. And I tell you, when Vollmer in the game, when you have Vollmer, Dinan, and Lance in the secondary, you're pretty solid at Carroll. So another good stop with the Carroll defense. And again, Joe, field position. Field position has been in Carroll's favor so far all night.
Leighton Mitchell back at midfield, and here comes the kick. There's a penalty flag thrown. There's a good kick. It takes a Concordia bounce back inside the 35 of the Chargers down to the 31. But let's see what that flag, and no reflection this time, Joe. Trust me, there was a flag back in the Concordia inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we'll see what it is. If it's against Concordia, I'm taking the penalty if I'm Carroll because I want Mitchell to catch that ball because I have got to win the field position battle. So that's going to be a false start on Concordia, and I push them back and have them punt it. And I tell Leighton Mitchell, hey, Leighton, you got the best hands in the conference, and I know it's misty. Come up and get that ball because that's going to save us field position, and that's going to be key, Joe, that you mentioned early on. This might be a game where, hey, a touchdown or two might just do the trick.
Now, Concordia comes in with averaging about 45 yards a game in penalties, but last week, despite the win, Joe, they had 13 penalties for 125 yards against the game against the Generals.
You just read my mind. Ever since the state championship year back in 2016, these last 2 to 3 years, Concordia has led the league in penalties and turnovers. And again, we see it there. That's a crushing turnover when you just flip the field.
Jaden Parnan in to punt, low snap, picks it up and trying to run with it, but he's going to be buried inside the 15-yard line. So Carroll with that defense on a snap that never got back, cleanly handled by Parnan, low snap. And the Chargers with a great opportunity now.
And it's going to be false start again on Concordia, and Carroll's going to turn this down. And that's huge because special teams in games like this, as you know, Joe, from all your years of calling football, decide games a lot of times when it's bad weather. And that second opportunity to punt that ball worked out beautifully for Carroll. And if you take away that penalty, Joe, Carroll's 1st and 10 on their 35. Now Carroll's, they're in the red zone now. So tremendous mistake on special teams. And again, Concordia hurts themselves with the penalty.
So on the 4th down, bad snap. It'll be Carroll's football, full house again. Swain under center, looks to hand it off deep. Mertz off tackle and plunges straight ahead. Gets close, inside the 5, down about they'll mark him down. The knee hit right at the 5-yard line.
It's fun to watch Mertz run the football because you can tell he's a linebacker. I mean, it's just one cut and here I come. I'm not going to wiggle. I'm not going to juke. I'm going to put my pads right on you.
Had just 2 carries last week for 9 yards.
Gave it to him again, Joe, and got a couple of yards on 2nd down. So now this is a big 3rd down. Now if I'm Carroll, I would boot and look for Bransfield here. I think if you run a boot and you fake it to Mers, Bransfield's going to be so wide open. But with the young quarterback, I imagine they'll probably give the ball to Mers again. But I'm telling you, Bransfield on the boot is all day long.
3rd down and just a yard. Again, here's Mers and finds a little bit of a seam and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Carroll.
Yeah, good push up front, and I got to tell you, that offensive guard on that left side, Kyler Bills, 6 feet, 282. Carroll's huge up front, Joe. He just drives his guy into the end zone, and that's physical Carroll football, and that's really been their trademark this year, Joe, the physicality, the roughness of the offensive line, and they cash in there. And how big was that special teams mistake for Concordia?
Hunter Mertz with the touchdown run. That's his 7th of the year. Now Trevor Horton comes on, extra points. He's 23-25. Kick is on the way. That is good. So 7-0 Chargers, capitalizing on that bad snap on 4th down to lead Concordia here with about midway through the 2nd quarter. 7-0 Chargers. We'll be back. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket.
The comets falling from the sky, 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 comets falling from the sky.
Give your home the curb appeal it deserves, and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code SummitCity for 15% off all power washing services today. That's kurtzmio.
They wait inside the 15 at the Concordia 11-yard line now, and here comes the kick as soon as they get the ball back on the tee. You said the wind is a little strong here tonight.
Yeah, it was picking up a little bit. I didn't think it would be much of an issue when the game started, but I think it's picking up. And as that field gets wetter and wetter, Joe, this is going to turn into a mud bowl, and I think that really favors the physicality of Carroll.
Horton ready to kick it away from right to left as we look at it. 7-0 Chargers. Kick comes down. It'll come far side. That one will be fielded inside the 10. Run to the middle of the field, and right side got a block at the 20-yard line, 25-30. Cut up and cut back to the middle of the field, 35 up to the 40-yard line. That'll be good field position now for the Cadets.
Yeah, I tell you, Grossman on those kick returns is good, Joe. So that's a nice start for Concordia, good field position. And quickly, Joe, go across the Summit City platform with scores. Dwenger 7, Snyder nothing. When was the last time Dwenger and Snyder played and the conference championship wasn't on the line?
Yeah, really.
How about Southside 6-0 over Bishop Lures? An interesting game, Joe. Northrop 3, Northside nothing. So that's a huge game for both those teams that are hovering around 500. And Homestead 7-0 over Wayne early on.
Cadets with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. And here's a screen coming left, and they've got some blockers in front. Carroll tries to defend and spinning away out to midfield, or near to it. That was Jaron Kendig, I believe, with the ball. And
I tell you, they're lucky because I thought Kendig was going to break away, and the defensive lineman, Seibel, makes the tackle out there on the edge. But I like the play call because what Coach Manigle's doing is he figures if I can't push them back, I'm going to spread them out wide. So he throws the screen pass to widen those corners. Now he's got a chance maybe to run Drew back up in the middle in some of those run lanes. But that's a good play call, and I like it on first down, Joe, because it's stretching the field.
Second down and only about a yard for the Cadets now, just near midfield. A work from the left side hash mark now. Brandon Davis out of the pistol, deep stretch handoff, comes right side. And again, Amir Drew nowhere to run. Tackled back around his own 46. That'll be a loss of about 3.
And the adjustment there is that time it was the free safety, Lincoln Lance. And I tell you, when we watch high school football, it's been a while since I've seen a free safety, Joe, come up and put his nose and make so many plays in the backfield. And I tell you, it's slick and it's wet, but it's so tempting to run play action and to run a backside post where Lance is supposed to be, because Lance is such a filler in the run game. And on a night like tonight, Lance figures, heck, why am I going to stay 8-9 yards back in the box? I might as well come up to the line of scrimmage and be another linebacker.
It's right offense now for the Cadets. Now 2 wide either side of the field. It'll be third down and about 4, a long 4. 2 wide to the left side. Here's Davis. Looks, steps up, and runs into his own man. Now flush back to the right side. Runs to the 45, and trying to get around the corner. Has to step out of bounds as he's being pursued here on the near sideline. Good defense chasing. There is a penalty flag thrown.
Yeah, it looked like Lance was going to bring him down and have him, but it's going to be a personal foul on Concordia. And right now, Davis was just slow on his read that time, Joe, and just never got out of the pocket. And those defensive ends for Carroll boxed him in so quickly he didn't know what to do. But again, another crushing penalty. This is going to be a 15-yarder, Joe.
Ethan Beaupre was bearing down on Brandon Davis. Forced him out of bounds, so it'll remain third down, but 15 yards longer. You can just see the sheets of misting rain drifting down out of the northwest. We expect the temperature to drop as well.
Yeah.
Somebody said low tonight in the 30s.
Yeah, you better tell your wife, turn that electric blanket on. It's going to get cold tonight, but
that's what she's got Papa for.
Yeah, that's right. That's great. I hope she's listening.
That's another story. Yeah.
I hope she's listening.
Oh, yeah. I'll hear about that.
I'm waiting for my phone to ring. I mean, let's see. Hey, Tommy's got an eye on my phone. See if it like. That's why she's got Papa.
Looks like they're going to kick on. I thought it was third down. Here's a bad kick, though, coming off the side of the foot here, near side up the 45.
I thought so, too, but they called the personal foul after the play was over. So,
foul.
Yeah, it was a dead ball foul. And that's a devastating penalty, dead ball foul, which is a late hit for Concordia. And that's not Concordia football, because Coach Manigault is very disciplined with his team, Joe, and his kids play so hard for him. You know, speaking of Manigault, how about the job Dean Dorfler did over here to really jumpstart this program? And then Manigault takes it and continues it and wins the state championship in 2016. But when I played, we circled Concordia because Concordia was one of those games where I'm going to run my numbers up. But you know what? Not anymore. And I think, I got to say a lot about Dean Dorfler and the tradition they built over here, Joe. And we love coming out and doing games, but this is a whole different program the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, it's amazing because Concordia during the regular season, maybe they'll go so-so, about 500, maybe have a winning year, but they get ready for tournament play, whether it's Class 3A or 2A. Here it now is Logan Swain looking and throws the ball. That's incomplete.
I love the play call. They had the middle screen to the tight end, Bransfield. I love the play call. But Swain's just got to get that ball a little quicker to Bransfield, because when the field's slick like this, those defensive linemen aren't going to get up the field. But in a play like that, just get the ball to Bransfield. Bransfield's 6'3", 220. He'll get you some yards.
By the way, our Indiana-Michigan Power halftime show coming up. Stay with us. We'll have Scott Hoffman from Meyer joining us. Hard to believe Meyer, 85 years young, if you will, in business. Wow. We'll talk about that and much more. Here's a handoff now, an off-tackle run. And tell you what, it looked like, is that Mertz? No, it's Carmody that got the handoff, and it looked like he had more. Concordia rallied to the football. And what did Doug Dinan tell us? One of the keys for defense, do you fly to the football? Concordia did that time.
Yeah, they did. And I tell you, they've got some good players, and we talked about a little bit in the pregame. But Cam Johnson, Sam Hudson, that time it was Cooper Harris. He comes in, Joe, 31 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss. So Concordia's strong at linebacker.
Third down and long for the Chargers. They lead at 7-0. Here's Swain, rolls to the right side, looking. Now directing traffic, throws late and's got a catch in traffic right at the 35-yard line.
And he's lucky because that's Leighton Mitchell. And whenever you throw the ball late and you're pointing guys out, that's not a good idea. But Swain throws a good ball, and Mitchell makes that catch, Joe. So it's going to be close. That was a nice play for Mitchell to get that catch. So now another big fourth down here for Carroll, and I imagine they'll probably run the ball to Mers here, but a big fourth down here. And this is kind of danger time for Concordia. You got to get this stopped.
Power football now by the Chargers. Swain in there, and Concordia wants to talk about their defensive alignment. 5:01 remains here in this first half. Still 7-0 Chargers on top when we return to Zollner Stadium. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket.
Doug won't do halftime here.
The comets falling from the sky, 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 comets falling from the sky.
Give your home the curb appeal it deserves, and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code SummitCity for 15% off all power washing services today. That's kurtzmio.com, supporting the youth of Fort Wayne.
Joint pain, sprains, strains, or a possible broken bone? Make the Parkview Ortho Express walk-in clinic your first stop when you have an orthopedic or sports injury.
Stop here.
Fourth down and a yard. Let's see if it's Mers or Carmody back there. Got to believe it's Hunter Mers. Swain under center now. Long count, looks and hands it off. And here's a second effort. Mers, let's see, did he get to the spot?
Yeah, it was close. He got there just by a little bit. I think he's going to have the first down by a half a yard. But it's interesting. They like to run to that left side, Joe, with Bills and Muncie. Muncie 6'4", 282, the junior tackle. And Mers fell forward, so it's going to be close. I think he had it, Joe, but we'll see.
They're going to bring out the chains, I believe, and measure. Meanwhile, I want to remind you tonight's game being brought to you by Ackee Bar and Grill, located at 1105 East States Boulevard on Kurt's Mio Power Wash, and by Indiana Wesleyan University. You can visit them at indwes.edu. Well, they stretch out the chains, and it will be 1st and 10 at Carroll.
Yeah, it was a good lunge forward by Mers. But again, Revy Muncie, Joe, 6'4", 282, the junior. He was playing both ways when we had the Snyder game. They were using him at defensive tackle, and they still will, but they like the fact of how big their tackles are. You know, you talked about Spade's 330, Muncie's 282, so they got fantastic bookend tackles. Not only with size, Joe, but they have good feet, and that really is what the difference was to get that first down.
Chargers going to stay with that tight offensive lineup, that formation, kind of the reverse wishbone at the World 100 Mertz. The deepest of the setbacks stands and starts at the 41-yard line. 1st and 10. They'll give the ball to him again, off tackle on the right side, and he dives down inside the 35 to about the 33, 32-yard line.
This would be a great time for a play-action pass because Concordia is completely selling out on those runs between the tackle to Mers, Joe. So with Concordia selling out, if you could just run Bransfield to the flat or maybe Mitchell on a wheel route, it's going to be wide open.
Call it a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. And once again, here is a play-action fake. They do throw the ball, and a dive and attempt for that ball. They're going to rule it a catch down around the 25-yard line. A little square-up pattern, so they ran what you're talking about, Joe.
Yeah, that's there. Looked like maybe Vollmer got in the game and caught that ball. Looked like 23. I don't think that was Bransfield that time, but I like the play-action. You got a young quarterback. He's a good, just doesn't have a lot of experience. The ball's really wet, so help him out with some play-action passes.
It'll be 3rd down and still about 3. Same set with that full house. They'll give it off now. And here's Mertz, steps out of one tackle and fights his way down to about the 35.
It's a great
run. To the 25, I should say, Joe.
It's a great run because if he continues outside, Joe, Camp Johnson drops him. And then you have a negative play. Instead, he plants the outside leg, he drives downhill and gets a positive run. Now you're back in 4th and 1 instead of 4th and 4. Again, I know they'll probably give the ball to Mers. That play-action pass is all night long.
At the 25, they need a yard, and Mertz off, and the second effort lunge might have got it for him. Concordia did ramp up on him right at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage.
He's just barely getting it. I'm telling you, if it's 4th and 1, he's getting a yard and a half each time, isn't it? But you're right, Joe, the toughness and the leg strength to push on. And also, you made a good point earlier, too, the size of the Carroll offensive line. And if I'm Concordia, it's so tempting to maybe roll into a 5-2 at this point, Joe.
Now they'll spot it at the Cadet 23. Nothing fancy here for the Carroll Chargers. And here is a pitch now comes to Mertz. This time a good penetration right side defensively by that Cadet defense, and they'll stop it for a loss. And shooting the gap up through there, that was Cam Johnson that came through.
Yeah, and also Braden Payne does a nice job too, Joe. So Carroll's going to have to stay inside. Those outside sweeps, Concordia's too good with their contain. So I either run the ball up the middle to Mers or I throw a play-action pass. But this is a big play here.
Now the Chargers back to the pistol alignment with Swain. Play-action fake, rolls right. Looking, being pursued, throws on the run in the middle. He's got a catch. There's a run inside the 15-yard line down to about inside the 10 and down to about the 6-yard line. The Chargers will be knocking on the goal once again, 1st and goal.
That's a great throw by Payne that time. Swain. He has Bransfield in the middle of the field, Joe, and I thought he was going to be late with it, and what he did was Bransfield separated from the defender, and Swain just threads the needle. That's a great pass, and then Bransfield shows you the quickness and the strength to get the extra yard. So sometimes you got to trust that young quarterback, especially when you have the weapons.
1st and goal from the 7. Here's a Mertz again. Lost the football, picked up by Swain, and Concordia brings him down back around the 14-yard line.
And that's danger time for Carroll if you're there. Luckily, Swain covers it, but that ball slick, Joe, and I tell you, just handing the ball off in these conditions become an issue, so you got to make sure you get that ball handed off, and that's a big break for Concordia because that clock's ticking down, Joe, and maybe a chance for Concordia to stop them here.
So the loss, 2nd down and 14 as Joe gets ready to make his way down to the wet field and be checking in. Here is a quick throw to the fade to the right corner. That one looks long, and that one was intercepted. As the Cadets made an over-the-shoulder attempt for it, but it's ruled incomplete. Vanderbosch, I believe, had the best shot at that pass to the right corner of the end zone. That'll stop the clock with 1:25 remaining. So it remains 7-0 in favor of Carroll, and now the Chargers face 3rd down at the 14-yard line. They had it 1st and goal at the 7, but a fumble on the snap cost them about 7 yards. Play clock is down to 10. Chargers hurrying up to the line of scrimmage, 2 wide to the left side. Logan Swain out of the pistol now. Has the snap, looks, gives ground, rolls right, throws back to the left side. Carmody trying to dive for the ball, incomplete. That one was a dying quail over here on the near sideline. If you have execution, Carmody's over all by himself, wing left, but the pass just really never got into his hands, and he was stumbling trying to come back on the wet turf to the dying pass as well. So now it's 4th down. Let's see if Horton comes on to attempt the field goal. They'll spot it outside the 20 at about the 21. Let's call it a 31-yard field goal. He's got a long last week of 31. This line drive kick is on the way. Got a chance and good. 31-yard field goal by Trevor Horton. Add 3 to the Carroll total. And with 1:15 remaining in the half, it is now 10-0 in favor of the Chargers here at Zollner Stadium. We'll step out. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket. Contributing sponsors making tonight's broadcast possible include Kelly Automotive Group, 1,000 new vehicles and 500 pre-owned for you. Tom Steele Tire, 2 locations in Fort Wayne, and Big Eyed Fish, the best fish in Fort Wayne. Here's a deep kick and goes back and did not get to the end zone. It'll be carried back out of there, and boy, not much there. Gain only across the 5, back out to about the 9-yard line. I think the Cadets were hoping it was going to go into the end zone. It did not with that heavy, wet turf back there, the natural grass. It'll be 1st and 10 Cadets, but back at their own 9-yard line is where they spot it. So it's been kind of an uphill battle. Concordia had some field position early in this ball game, really did not capitalize on it. And since then, Carroll has capitalized on a couple of bad special teams situations by the Cadets, and they lead at 10-0. And now with 1:05 remaining in this first half, Concordia trying to go the length of the field, some 90 yards, and only just 1:05 remaining. And they will run the ball, and just up at, again, Amir Drew, not much there, maybe gets about half a yard. See if Doug Dinan has any thoughts about calling a timeout. His team up 10-0, but still 43 seconds remaining, and the clock runs. Cadets huddle up, and they may be very well content to head to halftime and hopefully down just 10-0 here at the break. Under 30 seconds remaining. Cadets come up to the line of scrimmage, 2 wide to the right side. Here's Brandon Davis, long count from the line of scrimmage, now rolls to his right to stretch, handoff, hands it off. Drew Trent got a block. And was there a face mask in there? We've seen the ball pop free, but they can rule it down on contact. The clock will continue to run, and we are down. Well, it stopped right now with 6.7 seconds remaining, and let's see if we had a penalty flag as well. Tom Mew, our referee, coming over, and will let us know what's going on. Going to talk to Tim Manigal as well. And apparently it was no penalty, but a timeout was called, although the referee coming over to chat. Tell you what, let's step out for a quick 30-second break as we have the opportunity. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket. That'll get you. Third down and about 3 for the Cadets. They've got it at their own 15-yard line. Officials trying to do their best to keep the ball dry. It looks like that rain has eased up a little bit right now. Still, it's going to be a very wet, soggy situation. Cadets with 6, well, they put time back on the clock, just under 10 seconds now, 9.8. It will be a third down call coming up for Concordia, working from left to right. And here is Brandon Davis once again, looking and wants to call his own number. Starts right, spins, but will not get back to the 15. They're going to give him a good spot at the right at the 15. There's going to be another timeout, I believe, called. Let's see, we'll confirm that. It is timeout called by the Chargers. 4 seconds remain. Once again, we'll take a timeout. 10-0 in favor of Carroll IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket.
Carroll calls their final timeout. There's 4 seconds left on the clock.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for at least one more snap here before the end of this first half. 10-0 Carroll. Other games going on tonight in the Northeast 8. New Haven at East Noble. Knights now ranked number 2. Leo hosting Columbia City. Empty backfield now for the Cadets. They spread it out 3 wide to the short side, 2 wide to the left for Brandon Davis. Looks, and he will kick the ball on 4th down, and that's over everybody's head. It'll take a Concordia bounce well back inside the 40-yard line, but this first half is going to be over, and it'll be a lead, and we'll bring in Joe Auburn with Coach Doug Dynan when we get a chance.
Carroll, 10.
Hey, Coach, I'm down here with Joe. I'm down here with Coach Manigo. Coach, physical half, obviously with the weather. Field conditions are an issue. They're pretty physical. What's the adjustment for the second half?
Well, very simply, we need to catch the football. I mean, we've moved the ball a little bit. Our receivers are dropping some big passes, and Carroll's are not. So, I mean, we're getting beat up front a little bit. So we got to figure out how to block some of their D tackles who are wreaking some havoc inside. But, all in all, not bad.
Not bad. Defensively, you seem to be holding up pretty good, especially on the outside. You're making the game really being played between the tackles.
Yeah, I think our defense is playing pretty well. Again, it's just a matter of getting them off the field on some 3rd and 4th downs. We haven't been able to do that. But, again, not bad.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Good luck in the second half. One of the area's better coaches, Joe, a little bit frustrated because he wants to get his offense going. But I'll tell you what, Joe, these field conditions down here are quickly deteriorating.
Thank you very much, Joe Auburn, down on the field with Tim Manigault, was the head coach of the Concordia Cadets. 10-0, I should say, in favor of Carroll here at the half. Now it's on to Indiana-Michigan Power halftime show, and we'll be back after this timeout, 3 minutes timeout. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket.
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
Looking for a way to naturally aid in soothing aches, pains, and sore muscles and reduce inflammation from the skin? Want a relief in minutes? Try Alleviate. Contact Hillary Didier for details. You can find her at didier.hillary@gmail.com or call her at 260-312-1599. Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps. The Holiday Hoops Developmental Camp is for ages pre-K through 8th grade. You'll work on shooting, dribbling, passing, and defense December 24th through January the 2nd on Tuesday and Thursdays. And the Always 100 Pro Camp 2020 takes you to the next level. It's the real college experience for grades 1 through 12. It's June 8th through June 11th at Trine University.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Parkview Sports Medicine's integrated sports medicine team is built to serve the needs of all athletes in all sports. Our team's only goal is to improve athletes in every facet. PSM offers performance training to help athletes get better on the field, dedicated athletic rehabilitation and physical therapy to help them get better off of it, certified athletic trainers in our PSM schools providing daily support to our athletes, and a specialized orthopedic walking clinic when injury strikes. Call 260-266-4007 to speak to our care navigators or visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com to learn more about what we can do to improve.
Mrs. Jennifer Thorath, our
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
Looking for a way to naturally aid in soothing aches, pains, and sore muscles and reduce inflammation from the skin? Want a relief in minutes? Try Alleviate. Contact Hillary Didier for details. You can find her at didier.hillary@gmail.com or call her at 260-312-1599. Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps. The Holiday Hoops Developmental Camp is for ages pre-K through 8th grade. You'll work on shooting, dribbling, passing, and defense December 24th through January the 2nd on Tuesday and Thursdays. And the Always 100 Pro Camp 2020 takes you to the next level. It's the real college experience for grades 1 through 12. It's June 8th through June 11th at Trine University.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Parkview Sports Medicine's integrated sports medicine team is built to serve the needs of all athletes in all sports. Our team's only goal is to improve athletes in every facet. PSM offers performance training to help athletes get better on the field, dedicated athletic rehabilitation and physical therapy to help them get better off of it, certified athletic trainers in our PSM schools providing daily support to our athletes, and a specialized orthopedic walking clinic when injury strikes. Call 260-266-4007 to speak to our care navigators or visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com to learn more about what we can do to improve
providing service and meeting a need. You know, I noticed something online, and we know that Halloween is coming up, and on a lighter touch, I really was intrigued because I know that pets are part of family. I mean, they are, you know, and a lot of people, they consider them just another, forgive the term, another child, if you will, but you know, the pets makes so much an important part of their very lives, and it was interesting. I saw online that with Meijer, they have a big commitment to pets and the fur babies, as they're called, and Meijer offers the largest Halloween pet costumes ever, and even for the large breed dogs. And I never understood. I understand it, but I guess I was surprised that large of a commitment. So obviously, pets have a very big impact with Meijer.
Absolutely, and our pet departments have grown. In fact, you know, our store had a remodel a year ago, and we expanded the pet department significantly because of that very reason. I mean, pets are an important part of people's family, and yeah, that leads to the Halloween costumes, the Christmas outfits, and everything. And quite frankly, we have probably to this point, and Halloween's a last minute holiday, but we've probably sold half of our pet costumes already, and that's unheard of.
I was just curious by your department managers, have you had any amazing stories relayed to you about certain types of costumes? Or I don't know if they bring the pets actually in there, probably not. But
no, we don't let them do that. But a lot of people just really, you know, we have these in high traffic areas, and it brings a lot of conversation and a lot of people talking about how pets are part of their family.
Yeah, people really get into it. You know, and I know Shop and Scan has been, that technology has been a big keynote here in recent months now for Meijer, and not available, or I should say not only available just in the 3 Fort Wayne stores, but in all 246 Meijer stores. And let's talk a little bit about the usage and the acceptance, the awareness of Shop and Scan now in the Fort Wayne stores. And what's your opinion? How has it come along here with the awareness by the Fort Wayne market?
Extremely well. We, in Fort Wayne, were one of the first 50 stores in the company to roll it out, and that was a little over a year ago. And now, like you said, it's really rolled out to the entire company, and its acceptance rate has been extremely high. The people who have tried it love it. We, quite frankly, are close to 3% usage of Shop and Scan. So 3% of our customers are using it when they shop, and it's just convenience for them. They scan the product as they shop, and then when they get up to the check lane, they just have to scan one barcode and they're on their way. So the convenience factor is huge, and it just makes the shopping visit much more pleasant and much more efficient.
I'm just curious, now you've got 3 different stores in kind of 3 different really geographic areas. Do you see any difference from, let's say, Maysville Road to Illinois Road and out north?
It's very similar, and I think like I said, 2 to 3% is the standard, and that's on the high level. When we look at our numbers corporately, the Fort Wayne numbers are a little higher. So I think part of it's geographical, but part of it is also just the longer you have it, the more people get used to it and use it. So I think that will just continue to grow as people become more comfortable with it. I think technology always provides an opportunity for some individuals, but I think people will find it's very easy to use once they try it.
I'm guessing us old-timers are the hardest ones to convince on something with the new technology. As we mentioned, Halloween's coming up, but also we're headed into this is the final quarter of the year, and I know that has some philanthropic implications, and I know Meijer is very involved with the fabric of Fort Wayne. And why don't you talk about some, I know United Way is very big with Meijer. How about some of the other giving charitable events?
There's obviously a lot of things we do. United Way, as you mentioned, is an opportunity for our employees to give back, and we are one of the top 10 companies in Allen County that contributes to the United Way, so very proud of that. We obviously also give back to the community in so many ways. We have Cop for Kids in December, and that is, all 3 stores participate in that, and we are able to help a lot of families that just don't have that opportunity to spend the money on Christmas gifts for their kids, and so it's a great philanthropic effort. And then we work with our food banks with the Simply Give program, which is something that we have done for many years now, but are able to work with our customers and ourselves in terms of what we give back to really help the food banks directly in our community.
Scott Hoffman with us here tonight, with Meijer still going strong after 85 years and very much an important part of life here in Fort Wayne. Now let's get back to more high school football right here on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket. And we are back.
Okay, well, would you like 3 minutes? Would 3 minutes help you again get a jump start ahead?
On Tuesday and Thursdays. And the Always 100 Pro Camp 2020 takes you to the next level. It's the real college experience for grades 1 through 12. It's June 8th through June 11th at Trine University.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Parkview Sports Medicine's integrated sports medicine team is built to serve the needs of all athletes in all sports. Our team's only goal is to improve athletes in every facet. PSM offers performance training to help athletes get better on the field, dedicated athletic rehabilitation and physical therapy to help them get better off of it, certified athletic trainers in our PSM schools providing daily support to our athletes, and a specialized orthopedic walk-in clinic when injury strikes. Call 260-266-4007 to speak to our care navigators or visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com to learn more about what we can do to improve.
Welcome back, everybody, with Joe Welburn and Tommy Norris, along with the gang from SummitCitySports.com. I'm Joe Parson. We're here at Zoller Stadium, where you can feel the temperature falling. It was 56, 58 degrees at kickoff. It's a lot less than that right now. Looks like the rain maybe has tapered off a little bit, so that's the good news. And we've got a 10-0 ball game as the Carroll Chargers have capitalized on a couple of miscues on special play attempts on punts by the Concordia Cadets here. They had a fourth down stop and took over at the Carroll 39 in the first quarter, but really couldn't manufacture any time of a scoring opportunity. But then after, in fact, that did lead to a missed field goal opportunity for Horton, as Trevor Horton missed on a 30-yard field goal. But later on in that second quarter, a bad snap, and it benefited Carroll. They took over at the Concordia 11-yard line, and that would set the stage for a 3-yard touchdown run by Hunter Mertz. At the 8:06 mark, Horton did knock the extra point through, and that made it 7-0 in favor of the Chargers here in that second quarter. Then another short kick by Concordia. It went out of bounds at the Cadet 44-yard line, and again, ultimately would pave the way for a 31-yard field goal by Trevor Horton at the 1:15 mark. And, Joe, that's all the points we've got on the board so far in this first half, a 10-0 lead by the Carroll Chargers.
Yeah, just a physical half of football. Carroll had good field position, and Carroll was very patient with the young quarterback, really handed the ball off to Hunter Mertz, and then when they could attack, they attacked downfield with Bransfield. So I thought overall pretty good job in the first half by Logan Swain for the Carroll quarterback. So Carroll gets the lead there. And as far as other games, Joe, I'll tell you one surprise, Northrop 10, Northside nothing. I kind of felt like Northside had some momentum, and I will say this, though, Jason Dorfer's done a great job with Northrop. They win tonight, Joe. That's 5 wins. So it's been a long time, since 2006 possibly, but Northrop's had that many wins. So Northrop really wants to win that game tonight. So that's a little bit of a surprise. I thought Northside might have a little bit of an advantage. Bishop Lure 7, Southside 6. So a game where both teams want to get a win. And, you know, Tommy Norris always talks about Bishop Lure's playing that 2A ball now, Joe. You want to get some momentum heading into the playoffs. So Lure still has a lot to play for with the playoffs, but 7-6 over at Lure's Field. And then Homestead's beating Wayne. Most people have suspected that, 17-0. And maybe a chance for Homestead to rest some kids. And while we have a moment, I want to wish Braden Hardwick well. I mean, it was tough to see him with that ACL, and when I played, Joe, we used to always say, heal like the Predator, and I want to wish, Braden Hardwick well, and so tough to have that ACL injury, and he's been so dominant. He was 8th in the state in rushing, Joe, and I think the toughest thing emotionally is just not being able to really be around the guys and help the guys, but I want to wish Braden Hardwick all the best, and I also want to say, Joe, that we're so lucky nowadays because with the sports medicine with Parkview, they're able to help these kids and treat these injuries. Griffin Little came back from that ACL in 5 months. So I think Braden Hardwick, with all the sports medicine of Parkview, will be able to battle back, Joe.
Do you have an update on that Snyder-Dwenger game?
Last score I had was 7-0 last score I had, but let me check and see if there's anything new on that. Dwanger had scored and was up 7-0, but I don't have anything now. But that was a pretty physical game too, but let me check and see if I can get you a score.
Yeah, in the weather like this, it's probably going to be a factor, an equalizer in a certain context for all the games and teams going on tonight. Remember, Carroll won the toss to defer. That means they'll get the ball first here, moving from right to left as we look at it. Concordia will tee it up. They'll kick it away from left to right as we look at it. And back in kick return for the Chargers, the deepest is going to be Leighton Mitchell.
Looks like Joe quickly. Dwanger 14, Snyder 7 at the half. So you're right. I think the rain and the elements is going to slow that game down. The good news, though, is that game's, it's the new turf on Spoler. That game's being played on turf, but that's a physical game and a big game for both teams. So 14-7 Dwanger at the half.
Here comes the kick by the Cadets. And Mitchell backpedals. He's got it at the 14-yard line. Runs to his left side, the short side. Works out to the 30-yard line, to the 35, and spun around out of bounds. Almost sits down on the Concordia bench. It'll be 1st and 10. Decent field position for the Chargers to begin this second half series, first of this third quarter, and they lead the Concordia Cadets 10-0.
Now, so important is the halftime adjustments. You show me a professional coach, you show me a college coach, you show me a high school coach. I show you a good coach based upon halftime adjustments. Now, at Concordia, Carroll has not been able to attack the edges with the run game. All the run game has been up the middle. So if I'm Concordia, I roll my linebacker up and I put an extra guy in the box in the middle of the field and maybe play some man-to-man on the outside with the young quarterback.
Luke Carmody in there, the back, and he slides off one tackle at the 35 and works to his right for another yard and a half.
Good defense, because on that play, Concordia shoots the inside linebacker, Joe, and makes Carmody, pick the next hole to the outside. Concordia makes the tackle. I'm so aggressive now with my linebackers if I'm Concordia.
Gain of 1 now to be 2nd down and 9. 2 wide come to the left side. That includes Bowden Height up in the slot to the left side. Concordia shows blitz to the right. They pitch the ball, kind of a shovel pass up the middle, and that works for a good yardage gain by the Chargers up across the 40 to their 45. Very close, and see if they've got enough for the first down.
Yeah, it's a good play call for Carroll because Concordia shoots the backers, and that's the old shovel pass that I hate. But that time it works to Bransfield, and Bransfield just has the size. And what's interesting about Bransfield, 6'3", 220, but he has good feet, Joe.
We're talking to Tim Manigal before the ball game, and I got to remind him that I've got Concordia High School tonight. We've got Concordia University playing at Darcy Stadium tomorrow night. And you got Peter Morrison, a prolific quarterback for Concordia, coming in. Here's stepping out of a tackle, run left side of midfield, 45 down the left sidelines, and down to about the 31-yard line goes Hunter Mertz for a big run. That's the biggest run of the night for the Carroll Chargers. But again, back to, you got Peter Morrison, you got Drew Bordner. I know you remember these names from
Bordner, the tight end, was fabulous for Concordia.
Now playing a linebacker position
for
the Cardinals.
And Morrison, was that not the best single season of quarterback play in high school football you ever saw, Joe, as far as stat-wise?
But I got to keep things straightened out. It's Concordia University tomorrow night and Concordia High School tonight. Here's a play action. They'll hand the ball off, and again, a run. Carmody finding some running room around the left end.
And now we talked, Joe, before the half there that Concordia did a nice job with the edge. Now Carroll's slamming down with the tackle and the tight end, and they're getting the edge. And a couple plays I love that about Merce. He could have run out of bounds, not the linebacker. He punished the Concordia defender. But right now, Carroll's getting the edge.
Yeah, Kyler Bills, the left guard, came out and gave him a nice chance to get a lead block out there. Now whistles blow right at the snap. But Carroll's been moving the football here, and they've been finding some running room. It was going to be 2nd down and about 3.
Yeah, and offsides that time on Concordia. And you're right, Joe. I like the way Carroll's getting up to the line of scrimmage. They're getting the ball snap, and they seem to really have some bounce to the step. And those tackles, Spade and Muncie, are really dominating out there tonight.
Yeah, this front 5. Offensively, Reed Muncie at 1 tackle, along with Nathan Spade, the big fella, 330, 6'5". Carmody, read option. No, it's going to be a throw over the middle, and that one is incomplete. Looking to run the post right over the middle, but incomplete pass.
Bransfield's going to go back to the huddle. to Swain and say, now look, if you're going to throw it like that and get me killed, you better put it between the numbers. I used to hate that when I would throw it and miss a guy, and I'd see him just get killed. They'd come back to the huddle, and I'd come on, huddle up, huddle up, huddle up. And they'd give you that evil eye.
Never happened, right?
That Antonio Brown evil eye in the huddle, right?
Second down and 10. Chargers on the move, trying to add. Here's Carmody, slips the tackle up the middle, and still on his way inside the 10-yard line. He breaks one and down to about the 7-yard line. It'll be first and goal. Carroll trying to add.
And I don't know what they said to the Carroll offensive line, but on this drive, this is all about the Carroll offensive line staying low and firing off. And they are just slamming the football in there against this Concordia defense. I'm telling you, Joe, I would slide into a 5-2, or I'd bring all my backers up. More guys, the point of attack for Concordia.
Carmody resets, offset behind Logan Swain at quarterback, and they'll look to him again. No, it's Swain on a quarterback keeper call, and he follows the block inside the 5 down to about the 2-yard line.
And he's a good athlete, Joe, only a junior, 6'2", 150. You know, if he can begin to put some size on that frame, but he's a good athlete, Joe. And I tell you, you know, we get so spoiled with the quarterback play in this area, but there's a lot of good quarterbacks that don't get as many snaps that we see them, Joe, are pretty skilled too.
Carroll establishing some dominance on the ground right now, rushing the football. They've got first and goal at the 2. We've got 8:37 remaining here in quarter 3. Now they go back to the full house, and let's see if that's Mertz. Mertz plunges off tackle left and takes the pile down. Did not get in, though. He's down inside the 1. It'll be second down and goal.
And it's good for Carroll to be able to run some different guys and have some different bodies tonight, Joe, because Carroll then finishes up with Wayne next week, so they can maybe rest a couple of other guys. And then
a week off, right?
Yeah, exactly. They got a week off on the bye. Can you believe that the football draw is this Sunday? But that sets up real nicely because Carroll's going to have some wars in that sectional.
By the way, that draw coming up Sunday night from Indianapolis. Here's a pitch coming to the right. Mertz takes it, his hit. And did he get in?
Wow, what a run, Joe. He got in, and that was a heck of a lick out there by Cam Johnson. But Mers drops the pads, and that's what I mean. Mers is a natural linebacker. I mean, he's out there just running guys over. He's a natural linebacker, but what he does so well is he's decisive. He plants the outside leg and drops those pads and makes the Concordia defender pay as he heads to the end zone. So I tell you what, that was impressive. Somebody talked to that offensive line at halftime, and that's just coming out and saying, look, we're going to put the ball here, and we're going to run it right down your throat. And that's Carroll football, and that's Doug Dinan physical football.
Trevor Horton looks for the 17th point. That's a low kick. Did it get there? It did not. It was blocked, so it remains 16-0, though. Carroll with an impressive opening drive to begin this second half. On top and still shutout going, 16-0 in favor of the Chargers. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket.
Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Come see us in Decatur at the 2733 Auto Mall and shop 7 brands in one location. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps.
Well, you get the feeling that the Carroll Chargers found something they could exploit, much more improved with their run attack. Here's a short kick and a return. Coming up and sliding down, the knee hit back around inside the 20-yard line. So the Concordia Cadets will have their first possession of the football on offense now, but down 16-0 here at home.
Yeah, that drive for Carroll, you mentioned it, Joe, the run attack, it shortens the game and it puts more pressure on the Concordia offense, trying to get some points on every drive. So now if you're Concordia, if you have a hurry-up offense, I think I would go ahead and get into it because, as stout as Carroll is on defense and the way Carroll's running the ball, I don't know how many more possessions you're going to get. This game is really shortening, so I attack here, and maybe I attack with my 2-minute offense.
Tim Manigault talked to you about it at halftime. He said we need some guys to make some catches. First and 10. Concordia moving left to right. They've got the ball at their own 17-yard line with the do want to try to run it. There's just nothing there now.
That was a broken play that time. Davis wanted to hand the ball off to Drew, and there was some miscommunication, and Larry Seibel again just dumps him. Boy, Carroll's attacking. Carroll plays so hard at the point of attack, Joe, and it kind of reminded me when we saw him against Snyder. I think Snyder was a little bit surprised how physical Carroll was at the point of attack, but Seibel and Jackway, and they've got some good guys out there on defense. You know, Murray and Stevens. Stevens a heck of a ball player, too.
By the way, just a quick update on that tournament pairing show that comes from Indianapolis Sunday night at 5 o'clock. That is the 47th annual IHSAA State Football Pairings show. Short drop. Here's Brandon Davis. Checks off and then trying to run to his left side. I thought the knee hit, though, and then you mentioned how not just wet, but now it's becoming slick because of the dropping temperature as well.
Yeah, I was stunned at how much the temperature dropped, Joe. I was stunned at how much the temperature dropped at halftime because it's probably dropped 20, 25 degrees. And not only is it slick, it's getting cold, and there's just not much footing. So anytime you try to cut back against the grain, it's going to be difficult. And really, Concordia needs to throw the ball, Joe. You got to push the ball down the field.
And I know you can remember some of those nights at Southside late in the year when you had some rain and then the cold, the damp that just cuts right through you.
Yeah, you could never get your hands warmed up, and you're trying to grip the ball, and it's tough to play in that.
Ball back at the 7. Davis wants to throw, steps up, wants to run. He's got a little running room. He's got a long way to go, and hit and stood up right about the 20-yard line, but it got at least out of some harm's way. It will bring up 4th down and long, but they were going to have the ball at the 7. Now it'll be 4th down, and they will punt the ball away. And Carroll, again, has been feasting on some opportunities, on some short kicks and bad snaps.
Carroll's so good in the secondary, Joe. Vollmer and Donnan and Lance, everybody was covered. Davis made the right choice to get what he could. But that secondary is so good for Carroll.
Harnan into punt, waits back inside the 10 at the 5. Leighton Mitchell in punt return at the 45 of Concordia. Kind of a rugby-style kick, hits at the 40, takes a bit of a Concordia roll out to about the 45, but that will be, again, very good field position for the Chargers. They lead it with 5:25 remaining here in quarter 3, 16-0, Chargers on top.
You mentioned playoffs, Joe. That 6A. Man, that's going to be a dogfight. Snyder, Carroll, Homestead, and what's Noblesville doing? I looked over the pairings, but there was really no other place to put Noblesville. So I wonder if the deal was, if you get in the sectional, we'll make sure you get a home game. Wink, wink. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see. And if you're Carroll, boy, you'd love to see Snyder and Homestead matched up in the first round to beat up on each other if you're Carroll. But it's going to be fun to see that drawing.
Here's a quick screen, comes to the left side, but again, Concordia, when they are defending to the outside and they have great lateral pursuit to the football. That time it was a catch made by Leighton Mitchell, but again, the Concordia Cadets are right Johnny to the spot, and they stop it for, well, actually a loss of about a yard.
Yeah, we saw him against Snyder, and Mitchell had a huge game. 36 catches on the year, 8 touchdowns, been an all-conference receiver for Becker and a really dependable target.
Carmody comes back in as the running back and play action fake and a roll right. Here's Swain. Swain being pursued, wrapped up and dropped back in to Charger territory back around the 49-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good effort out there because I thought Swain, he had the edge, Joe, but I tell you, that was a nice job by Brock Allman, the senior. 6 feet 180 at defensive end, making that play, Joe. So I thought Swain was going to get the edge. It's a great play by Allman, and now a chance for Concordia maybe stop Carroll on the 3rd and long.
3rd down and 16 from the 40-yard line, and here's a run by the right side, and again a big stick. Concordia. They will get some of that lost yardage back, but not nearly enough. It will bring up still 4th down and long.
That's something else I don't miss as an old quarterback. I don't miss the cold rain, the cold nights. And I don't miss the safety coming up and putting his pads on me like that. It's nice to be up here in the warm press box and not have guys hitting you like that. That was a big-time hit by Cam Johnson.
On those cold nights, those hits, you feel them a little bit more,
yeah,
don't
you sure do. You sure do. And when it's slick on the field and you don't have a lot of footwork, you can't really duck or get out of the way on a night like this.
Well, we're down to 4:11, time remaining in the quarter. 16-0 Carroll. Trevor Horton will punt the ball away. He'll wait for the snap back inside his own 38-yard line. 2 back and punt return for Concordia. Cadets hoping to get something going here. And now they fake the ball.
Well, I don't understand that. I mean, I love the trickery, but, 16-0, 4 minutes in the third. Your defense is playing lights out. I punt the football there. It was Ottenweller that got the ball, Joe, on the fake.
On the short snap.
But I tell you, Concordia is always well coached. The Concordia kids traditionally play so hard for Coach Manigill, and they read that, and that's a big stop. And look how that flips the field on field position. So I love Coach Dinan, and I love the gambles, but boy, I don't know. I mean, but again, that's coming from a guy who's trying to get up to 500 in kindergarten and first grade flag football up here.
So Concordia with a bit of a break. They've got the ball just short of own midfield, and now here's Brandon Davis. Looks right, checks out, throws back, screens the ball left side. Run to the 45, to the 40. They'll have a first down, spinning for more to the 35-yard line. So a good play for the Concordia Cadets as now they're energized.
Yeah, that's a great play call by Coach Manigill. You have a defensive line and linebackers that are attacking on a wet field. How about a screen to Amir Drew? And what's interesting, Joe, it's only 16-0. I mean, a touchdown and 2-point conversion.
Just a 2-score lead.
Exactly. That's why I would have punted the ball there.
Lincoln Lance came up and made the stop defensively for the Chargers. But now it's 1st and 10 at the Carroll 34-yard line. 2 wide either side of the field for the Cadets. Brandon Davis wants to throw. Looks, time of the pocket, steps up, scrambles, throws. No. Did he get rid of the ball? He did throw it.
Did. I thought he was going to run it, Joe, and he had a run lane there, and he just throws it out into double coverage, and he's lucky.
Yeah, he kind of changed his mind last second. I'm with you. I thought for sure he was taking off and had some running room.
Yeah, he's got to be more decisive. If you're going to run that ball on a night like this, tuck that ball and get upfield because that defense was spread. I think he could have got 5, 6, 7 yards, Joe, and you don't want to throw that ball in the double coverage. So, he's had a good year with 12 touchdown passes for Concordia, Brendan Davis. But tonight, that decision-making just needs to speed up, and they're so slow getting out of the huddle every time, Joe.
Luke Speckert out there, part of the wide set to the left spin move. Here's Davis, now throws over the middle, and that one is picked off.
Sure is, and I tell you, I was surprised he threw it because, man, he was covered. I thought that's a tough play. Lincoln Lance makes the interception, but the wide receiver was covered. And I was surprised he threw that, Joe, because I think if he could have kept coming out in the boot, maybe he could have tucked it and got some yards that way. But Lincoln Lance and these guys are really reading their eyes, and they're making those plays. And you see it on the replay, the traction replay, where they just stepped in front of the receiver and made the play.
So the Chargers stop the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Chargers' 23-yard line, moving from right to left. Just a little over 3 minutes time remaining in this third quarter. Motion left to right behind the line of scrimmage. Concordia shows blitz defensive left side. They'll hand the ball. Carmody on a sweep. Trying to turn the corner. Does. Gets a couple of yards. Across the 25, maybe another yard to the 26.
And to finish up on that interception, I understand what Davis is going through. Games like this as a quarterback, it's so hard to be patient because you're watching the clock tick away and you feel like you're not going to have very many opportunities, but you can't throw into double coverage and make those mistakes. Those are just huge mistakes, but it's so hard to be patient.
Swain out of the pistol. Now, that was a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. They'll run the ball. Right back to the spot, though. Concordia very stout by and large here tonight. The gain is only out to about the 27-yard line. So now the Chargers have a 3rd down call coming up. They need about 6, trying to get out to their own 33-yard line on this snap.
And you're right, Joe. Concordia still has the field position, so you get a stop here. You're going to get field position and get the ball back. So, for Carroll would love to get a 1st down here, but if I'm Concordia, they're going to run the trips over here. I really watch the backside pass to Mitchell.
Bransfield in, one of the wideouts to the right side. And here's shotgun formation and pulling it down. Here's Swain now being chased, threw the ball up and away, incomplete to the sidelines.
It went to Mitchell, and Concordia saw it. And that was a good job of Swain to get that ball out of bounds. When he went to throw it, I thought, oh, my gosh, he's going to throw into triple coverage. But That's good for Concordia. Also, what's good for Concordia is the pass stops the clock, Joe. So now, if you're Brandon Davis, you got another chance at this. Just be patient. You have Amir Drew, and just deke and dunk the ball down the field.
Concordia punt returners wait at their own 41-yard line now. Trevor Horton steps into the kick. High, short kick. They'll let that one bounce at about midfield. Takes a Carroll bounce inside the Concordia 45 down to about the 43-yard line, so the Cadets have good field position to work with once again. Still on the short end of a 16-0 score with 2:09 remaining in this third quarter.
Yeah, great game. I tell you, Carroll's been physical. Concordia's been physical too, but Concordia needs to get this offense moving. I like the screen call, on the last third. That really kind of slowed Carroll down. But I think if you come back, Concordia started the game, Joe, with some quick hooks and really some passes to the slot. Those plays are there, and those aren't real difficult passes with a wet ball. So I come back to that if I'm Concordia.
Vanderbosch and Grossman, part of a trips package wide to the right side as the rain begins to, and there was a broken play again as Brandon Davis pivoted or tried to hand that ball off, and nobody was back there, so he had to run it himself and lose us about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, Brandon Davis is frustrated running out of that pistol, and he wants to hand the ball off, but it's just not happening. And I really think at this point you got to push the ball down the field. This is probably one of the quickest games we've ever done. I mean, we're almost in the fourth quarter, Joe, so I think, you're not going to have a lot of possessions left.
I tell you what, I dropped a little hint to both coaches. I said, AccuWeather says maybe the threat of thunderstorms coming in by 9 o'clock. It'd be really nice, wouldn't it, if we could maybe get this one in? I think they listened.
What's your magic?
Second down at 11 now. Davis out of the pistol once again. 1:23 clock is running. Davis steps up, throws late. He's got a catch at the 49, and they've got a first down. Concordia's much more inside the 40 to the 35 and down to about the 31-yard line. So here come the Cadets once again knocking on the door.
Looked like maybe that was Grossman, Joe, but that time Davis was patient and dumped the ball down. That's what he has to do. That pocket is there. You just got to hang in that pocket and let those plays develop. But that's a good play.
I like what you said. He's got patience, and he did the check downs properly and found a wide open receiver in the middle of the field.
Absolutely. This is the type of game where you got to check that ball down and just be patient. It's only a 2-score game.
They'll have it inside or just outside the 30 at the 32-yard line of the Chargers. Concordia on the move. Again, they'll have it 3 wide to the right side. Here's Davis wanting to throw, looking, steps up, and this time he does get tripped up, but a forward gain inside the 30 down to the 27.
And that's okay. I mean, everybody was covered, so he tucked the ball, and he gets a nice gain, so that's okay. And that's what I do if I'm Concordia. Everything's a 3-step drop. If the first 2 reads aren't there, tuck it and get upfield. Concordia has another good drive going now. We're coming to the end of the quarter, but be patient here on this drive and don't make a mistake.
They'll set that ball down at about the 27-yard line. Final 9 seconds. Let's see if they get a playoff. We're down to 5, down to 4. They do run the ball. Here's Drew. Drew off tackle the right side, noses down to about the 21. And he will be close to another first down as we will end this third quarter. Still Carroll on top here at Donor Stadium, 16-0. Quarter 4 action coming up after we return. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250, The Ticket.
Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Come see us in Decatur at the 2733 Auto Mall and shop 7 brands in one location. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
Keep your skills on point and take advantage of the Always 100 basketball camps. The Holiday Hoops Developmental Camp is for ages pre-K through 8th grade. You'll work on shooting, dribbling, passing, and defense December 24th through January the 2nd on Tuesday.
Cadets in the red zone now. 1st and 10 at the 20. Vanderbosch, the lone wide to the right side. Here's Davis, wants to throw to him down the right corner. He's got him open. Did he catch the ball? We'll wait for the... Or was it picked off? It was underthrown and picked off by Carroll, their second interception of the game.
Wow, what a recovery that time. That's a great play. They were looking for Vanderbosch on the fade, Joe. Look at this replay. This is great defense. Looked like it was Vollmer out here that chased the ball down and made the play, but that is a great recovery from the defensive back, and that's Vollmer on the interception. But how about that? You think Concordia has a touchdown to Vanderbosch, and that's a great play out of the defensive back on the replay there. Vollmer to make that play. And you know what I say about Vollmer? Mark it down. He's all conference, baby. And that was a heck of a play for Carroll and stops probably Concordia's best drive.
Corey Vollmer did not start the ball game tonight. It held out till the start of the second quarter, but obviously has made his presence felt. Now the Chargers trying to run that clock in the final fourth quarter. They run the ball and short gain, a little counter run out across the 20, only to about the 21.
Yeah, and Carmody's getting a lot of carries, and he came in averaging about 5.5 yards a carry. Not a lot of carries on this season, Joe, but a lot of carries tonight, and he'll probably get a lot more next week, too.
And, again, we talked at the beginning of the broadcast, just been a mash unit so far for Carroll. They lose Evan Harris out for at least another week. And, of course, Jeffrey Becker not starting tonight, quarterback, and it just goes on and on. There are about 3 or 4 other players, but they found a way, next man up philosophy. And here comes a run by Swain to the left side and gets a couple of yards. And again, right now the clock is the ally for Carroll with just over 11 minutes remaining.
And yeah, well, I wouldn't put the ball in the air at all here. I'd run the ball. I'd run the ball here on third down and I'd punt the ball away. But you're right. You know, Carroll has a mash unit. But it's nice because if they can rest some guys tonight, you got Wayne next week who's having a down year. Then you have the bye. So it's a chance for Carroll to show up in that 6A playoff, Joe, with all their pieces back ready to go. So this would be a big win tonight for Carroll to win this game and to rest some guys.
3rd and 7 at the 20. They do throw the ball, and nothing there.
Exactly, and Carmody catches that, and he kind of wishes they wouldn't have thrown it, but it's a nice job of Carmody to catch it because you know what that does? It keeps the clock going. So I was surprised they threw the ball there, but it was a very safe pass. So now it's special teams. You just want to punt this ball, get this ball away. Your defense has been so dominant, and just play some defense. In Concordia, I like the way they attacked last time, Joe, but they got to really pick it up and maybe attack the middle of the field.
Catch was made, but that is nets a loss of 3 yards. So they'll bring in Trevor Horton at the 6 to punt it away. Got the kick away, line drive low. Bouncing ball that'll be taken. Now they're just going to back away from it and let that go all the way inside the Concordia 30 down to about the 27. And that's a tough proposition, Joe.
Oh, I would be upset if I'm Coach Manigault. It's 16-0. You're too far back on the punt. You got to come up and catch that punt. I don't care if the ball bounces. Go make a play. It's so hard with the field position. We have a better chance of you catching that ball on the bounce, Joe, making a play, than us starting all the way back at our 27 or 28 here, and as good as Carroll's been defensively, so that hurts. That's a 20-yard difference in field position at least, Joe.
Now the good news for Concordia, it's still just a 2-possession lead, a 2-score lead for the Chargers. Spread offense 2 wide either side of the field. Brandon Davis trying to make some plays here. It's thrown for over 1,300 yards now. Just puts it up for grabs and has a catch at about, let's see how they're going to rule that. They're at the 30. It is a catch.
Oh, it's incomplete. Boy, I thought he caught that one. That one hit him right in the numbers, and he ran with the ball. I guess it is incomplete. Huh.
He was running, but I guess he didn't have possession
of the ball. He didn't have the ball, huh? And, I thought Davis was late with the pass, but he found the receiver that time. Looked like that was number 5, Joe. Looked like that was Jaden Parham, but he just didn't bring it in. And that's what Coach Manigault was so upset about at halftime, our drop passes.
Got to have some help for your quarterback. 2nd down and 10. Davis again looks near side, throws the ball. He's got a catch, but that's just across the 30 to the 31.
And that's Cade Dinan coming up making that tackle, the junior. 5'8", 150. Man, has he played good ball this year. 3 interceptions, and I'm going to tell you, it's not easy being the coach's son. A lot of people think, maybe the coach's son, it's a little bit of favoritism. Let me tell you, it's not. They typically have to work twice as hard as everybody to get what they want, and that's been the case for Cade Dinan, but he's responded, Joe.
You know, and we have an injured player down, I believe, for Concordia they're going to take a look at. So we have a stoppage right now with 9:24 remaining in this fourth quarter. Still 16-0 in favor of the Carroll Chargers. With a timeout down below, we have a stoppage of play. This injury timeout brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine. Their winning combination with the IHSAA. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket. Injured player for Concordia starting center Jackson McKinney, a 255-pound junior 6-footer. So now it'll be 3rd down and 6. Brandon Davis needs 7 blitzes coming. He just puts the ball up, and that one is going to be intercepted again.
Sure is.
It was picked off and grabbed that time by Ethan Beaupre.
Yeah, great play by Beaupre. Only a sophomore, Joe, and he's played well tonight, too. And that's where Davis is just desperately trying to make a play. And you can see on the replay, the Beaupre just hops in front of it, shows you good hands, and makes the play. So, again, what's Carroll been known for coming into the game? 10 interceptions, best in the area. You got 2 more tonight, and 3 more tonight, huh? So they're up to 13. So, and again, what's been Concordia's Achilles heel this year? Turnovers. And now Concordia's going to be -8 net turnovers. So that's really the difference with these two teams.
Concordia goes full house type, and the ball is top 3. Swain trying to find the handle on it, and Concordia's got it.
Yeah, Concordia's got it. And there's Carroll's turnover. And, with a wet ball, you got to get a little bit deeper under that center. But Concordia gets it back, and I'm telling you, if you got a 2-minute offense, you've got to move. You can't take all the time in the world calling the plays now. You got to speed things up.
So the Cadets will have it right back, and they'll maybe gain about a yard on that exchange.
And that ball was slick, and that time the quarterback, Swain, never got it, Joe. Tommy Norris points it out. That ball never came up on the snap.
Now Brandon Davis gets new life at quarterback. His team trails 16-0 now, trying to hand that off.
Oh,
Drew. Runs into a wall, and I'm surprised. That was a tough handoff, too, as Drew was almost by the quarterback when that ball was trying to be handed off.
Wow, Drew was through the tackles, and Liam Ottenweller, the sophomore, 6'4", 210, just put the wood on Drew that time, and that was a big-time hit, Joe. Wow.
Nonetheless, a gain of a couple for the Cadets, so 2nd down and 8. Clock becoming a factor. We're inside 8.5 minutes. Time remaining in this ball game. Don't forget our Walburn Financial Management postgame show coming up. 2 wide either side of the field again. Quarterback Brandon Davis, a junior. Low snap has got it, though. Given ground. Now flush to his left. Will he run? Will he throw? He tries to run and spun around and dropped. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. They'll keep the clock moving.
And that was Ottenweller Matthew that time, the senior, comes over number 5 and makes that tackle. And how good are these backers? We don't have Tucker Steele tonight, but how good are the backers?
Yeah, next man up has been pretty good for Doug Dinan and the Chargers tonight. Hope you're enjoying tonight's game on SummitCitySports.com. You can find them on Twitter at 260sports. Sponsors also include El Azteca Mexican Restaurant and Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Now down inside 7.5 minutes. Time remaining. It's 3rd down and long. 3rd and 8. Davis again, empty backfield looking. Rolls to his right, buys some time, looking, and the comeback catch is made. They've got a 1st down inside the 40-yard line of Carroll and some extra yardage.
Yeah, good route by Vanderbosch to make that play and come back to the football. Vollmer that time lost his footing and lost Vanderbosch, and that was really one of the better pass plays we've seen tonight with Concordia because the ball was thrown on time, and it was right on the money.
Davis came over to the near sidelines once again to get the play call. Looks like he's limping a little bit, Joe.
Yeah, I think he's beat up a little bit. He's taking some hits, and he's had to run the ball a little bit more tonight, and we'll see if they can get this drive going. Still, it's only a 2-score game, so got to get some points, though.
Jalen Vanderbosch stays in wide to the right. That's the short side, and here's another miscue on the snap from center.
Yeah, bad snap that time, and they're lucky to cover it up. Yeah, I think Davis is hurt, Joe. He's really favoring. I don't know if it's a leg or what's going on, but he's not moving real well out there.
If you're wondering, the backup is listed as Jackson Valentine, a 5'11 junior. They've got a lot of juniors on this lineup.
They do. Yeah, they do. And Valentine's a good player. He's a good baseball player, too, Joe.
That's a loss of a couple, 2nd down and 12. Yeah, you can see running over. It's not an easy job tonight for Brandon Davis. 170-pound junior, 5'10". Now looking at 2nd down and 12. As we approach the 6.5-minute mark, time remaining. Again, spread offense, 2 wide either side. 2 wide to the left, the wide side of the field. And here is Davis. Look, short drop throws and a low ball. Let's see, they rule it a catch inside the Carroll 40 to about the 37, 38-yard line.
Yeah, and I think Davis could be favoring his non-throwing shoulder, the way he's kind of throwing that ball down, the way he's moving around. He's trying to really gut it out, but that was a good catch that time with Concordia. So they're moving the chains, but it's a big 3rd down here, Joe. This is probably, you got to have this. And this is 4-down territory, but you got to get some points on this drive.
Let's call it 3rd down and 6. Spotted just outside the Carroll 37-yard line. 3 wideouts to the left side. Wide side of the field, Davis. Looking high, snap has got it, though. Time of the pocket. Now slipping and sliding, rolls to his right. Looking, he's going to run and will not get much yardage. Bumped out of bounds right about the 37.
Yeah, just couldn't really gather himself to throw the football. So this is 4th down here. I come back to that screen with Amir Drew. That was, that worked real well when they ran that earlier in the half. And, as much as Davis is hurting out there, favoring, looks like maybe a shoulder, Joe, I come back with the screen to Drew. I think that'd be a great play call here.
Maybe gained about a yard on that scramble play out of bounds. Stops the clock with 5:37 remaining, but it is 4th down and a long 5. Concordia starting a 2-game homestand. They'll be here next Friday night. We'll be here with the game against Northside. And here that goes. Here's Davis looking, pumps, looks at high ball right through the outstretched hands of the intended receiver. That was Vanderbosch, tried to go up and grab it. But a 4th down stop, and Carroll gets it back now with 5:32 remaining.
Yeah, great defense again with Carroll. I thought Davis had the time to get the pass, but again, Vollmer was all over Vanderbosch and good defense, and now Carroll gets a chance with the offense to maybe run some clock. You got to make sure you get the snap here, but how about the Carroll defense, Joe? Extremely dominant tonight.
Well, as we've been talking about much of the evening, the leaders in Class 6A with scoring defense, and, you throw out that 42 points given up to Homestead. That happens to a lot of folks this year. Meanwhile, a good tough run right up the B gap to the right side.
And you're right. It was 14-12 at the half last week, and they had a bad quarter. 21-3 was the 3rd quarter. Homestead hung 21 on them. Carroll only got 3, and that's really been it this year. The rest of the year, they were solid with Snyder, solid with Dwenger.
2 shutouts.
2 shutouts. 1 bad quarter of football out of your defense, and that's really been it, Joe.
But despite it all, they're still number 1 in the state of Indiana among all 6A teams as far as scoring defense. Now Carroll looked a little bit in doubt. Now they got a bunch lined up to the right side. Swain out of the pistol, looks and lost the ball. He's got to go back on it, dives on it, back around the 40-yard line. And one of those nights, Joe, when you're just hoping this one gets over and nobody gets out of here hurt with any serious injury.
Yeah, and it's just so tough for your center because you want to run shotgun, but the ball's so wet. And I'd probably just stay under center at this point, but Swain was smart. He didn't go back and try to pick it up. He just covered it, and that's good. Take the loss. I get under center here, and I hand the ball off to Mertz, let him run a little bit, and I punt the ball. There's no need to really push it because your defense has been so dominant.
By the way, that ball back inside the 35 at about the 29. So it'll be 3rd down and long. 3rd and 18 is what they show. Shotgun formation, and Swain does want to throw. Throws the home run ball up in double team coverage, and that one nearly intercepted, and it was.
Yeah, and I guess that's like a punt. I mean, I'm surprised they threw that pass. And, yeah, definitely got intercepted, Joe, and I'm surprised they threw it. Looked like number 20.
Johnson?
Yep, Braden Payne, actually, number 23, the junior, the defensive back. 5'11", 155, gets the interception, Joe. And I guess if you're Carroll, you're going to treat that as a punt. But that's a heck of a play by Payne, and it gives Concordia some momentum. And they got to get moving, though. Brandon Davis has got to get this offense moving, and they can't keep running these plays.
Joe, you look at this fourth quarter, we've had interception, fumble recovery, 4th down stop, interception. So they've been just playing giveaway back and forth, and now with 3:57, Concordia's got it at their own 35. They need some points in a hurry. Slant near side is dropped.
Yeah, and that's just They can't make that catch, and Davis got to get that ball up, and Concordia just really needs to pick up their offense and move things along.
You know, it's interesting from the quarterback standpoint. A lot of times when you see that ball sailing high, it's the release point of the quarterback, maybe a high release. What happens when it's low?
When it's low, it's just your stride. Your stride's not right, so you're not striding right into the ball, and that's what's happening because Davis has been hit, and what's Davis doing? He's favoring his shoulder. He's being careful, and he's just not getting the proper stride and throwing that football.
2nd and 10, 3:54 remains. Can't find anything right. Brandon Davis comes up left and about jump ball for the incomplete pass. 46. Good sportsmanship, by the way, down here. Hunter Mertz, a two-way player, helps set the Concordia would-be receiver, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's great. You don't see that as much anymore, but that's a great job by Mertz. Mertz is a great kid. And, back to Davis, Joe, when you're hit a lot in the pocket, it's so hard, your mechanics begin to break down, and that was always a struggle I had because when I played in the run, it was hits and hits and hits, and you got to forget that last play and know that when you plant that back leg, you're going to deliver that football, but it's tough when you take a lot of hits, and that's why a defensive line like Carroll, as you mentioned, is so effective.
And it's tough on a night like this. Low snap gets by. Davis picks it up. Now scrambles, slipping and sliding again. Just got rid of it. And let's see if they'll just rule that an incomplete pass. Got out of the tackle box enough. So that'll stop the clock with 3:41 remaining, and it'll bring up 4th down and even longer.
Yeah, and Davis is really hurting it. It might not be a bad idea maybe to give Jackson Valentine a shot here because, for Concordia, you got a big game next week with Northside, and obviously with the sectional, Concordia's got a great chance to make some noise in the sectional, Joe. When you look at some of those teams in that sectional for Concordia, you got Macocqua, you got Peru, you got Norwell, Oak Hill. The overall record in that sectional, Joe, going in tonight is 17-39. So Concordia's got a great shot to win a sectional.
But remember, Belmont got Concordia in the opening round last year, 28-21. Here's Davis on 4th down, throws it off balance looking, and it falls incomplete against 33 triple coverage. Concordia wanted a flag, not going to get that.
I thought they were going to get pass interference, but you're right. Then I thought they were going to get roughing the passer, so Carroll escapes both penalties, and I think Carroll probably just run the ball up the middle and wrap this one up. And, Davis is beat up at this point. Maybe Concordia gets ready and goes on for that next game. And speaking of other games, Joe, it's interesting. Northrop was up 10-0, and now it's Northside coming back. The Tommy Norris Legends coming back 17-10. So how big would that be if Northside could win that? Other scores that we had on the Summit City platform, it was Lewis 14, Southside 6, and Homestead was up 24-0 on Wayne.
Carroll spreads things out 3 wide to the right, but they run the ball off tackle the left side. And an angled run from the 35 will have a gain down to about the 30, inside the 33 of the Cadets. And the clock keeps moving now, approaching, we're inside 3.5 minutes.
It's going to be a good win for Carroll, too, Joe, because that was such a disappointing loss last week to Homestead. And it was a physical loss. So for Carroll to suck it up, be missing some guys, and come over here, and Carroll's done a nice job dealing with the elements, I'd be very pleased if I was Coach Dinan.
Remember, the Chargers last year just 3-7, so came into tonight's game 4-3.
Going to get to 5-3. Got Wayne next week. Maybe
Carmody looking for running room and skirts free up the middle inside the 30-yard line down to about the 28-yard line. So that'll keep stops and runs the clock now. And it'll bring up a third down call for the Chargers, third down and a couple with just 2.5 minutes remaining. And reminder, tonight's game being brought to you by Ackee Bar and Grill, located at 1105 East State Boulevard, along with Kurt's Meal Power Wash. Also by Indiana Wesleyan University. Be sure to visit them on the web at ind.wes.edu. Chargers hurry up the line of scrimmage now. Just over 2 minutes remain. They go back to the full house lineup. Deep handoff, Merce. Merce battling for the first down stick. Looks like he's got it inside the 25. And they'll move the chains as well. That will start the clock as soon as they get things set up. And now we're inside of 2 minutes time remaining. Chargers not really huddling up. And contributing sponsors making tonight's broadcast possible include Kelly Automotive Group, 1,000 new vehicles and 500 pre-owned, Tom Steele Tire with 2 locations in Fort Wayne, and Big Eyed Fish with the best fish in Fort Wayne. Now it looks like Carroll's going to resort to the victory formation and just take a knee as we're down 1:20 remaining. Don't believe that Concordia will take a timeout. Meanwhile, Joe Walburn will make his way down to field level, hoping to have some comments from head coach Doug Dinan as the Chargers beginning to celebrate on the far sideline. The clock approaching 1 minute time remaining. They'll take the play clock down as far as they can. We're inside of 20 seconds. Reminder, we'll be back here at the Zollner Stadium next Friday night as Concordia will host the Northside Legends. That'll be the regular season finale, if you can believe that. This regular season has just rushed by so quickly. Another knee taken with 41 seconds. Just got to run one more play, and this one will be in the books with a Carroll win. Carroll will take a record now of 5-3. They will be back home next Friday night hosting Wayne, and that'll do it. Final 25 seconds. And the teams will hurry to midfield. And we'll be going down and check in again with Joe Walburn once the players exchange handshakes. We'll hang loose here as soon as Joe is able to get the head coach.
Joe, I'm down here with Coach Didier. Coach, congratulations. Big win for you. Felt like the physicality of your team was really the difference tonight.
Well, in these conditions, that's what it has to be. You got to be able to control the line of scrimmage, and I think we did a decent job of that.
Really tough this season with the schedule. I tell you, every week is a challenge, but it seems like your kids respond, and you have to be excited with the playoffs coming up and maybe a chance. You know, Wayne's down this year, but a chance maybe to get some guys healthy and gear up for the playoffs.
You know, without question. I mean, it's tough. You know, it's a grind, and guys are hurt right now. You know, that's no excuse, you know, but, you know, we're looking forward to the long run, and we're looking forward to the playoffs coming up too.
And lastly, you know, you've been with Carroll for 10 years now. I mean, how much enjoyment is it to come out and coach these kids on Friday night? You know, you had a great high school career yourselves, and what's it mean to you to be the head coach of Carroll?
I'm very blessed to be where I'm at. The administration, the school, the families, the players are all tremendous people, and I'm blessed to be at Carroll. Thank you very much.
They're blessed to have you. A great coach, Joe. Congratulations, Coach. So a good win for them, Joe. Obviously, Joe is a mess down here, but that was a physical win.
Joe Walburn down with Doug Digan, the head coach of the Carroll Chargers. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the Walburn Financial Management post-game show and much more when we continue. As Carroll wins it by a final score of 16-0 here at Zollner Stadium. I'll tell you, let's hang around just for a quick second. I believe there's going to be a team meeting, so we will go ahead. We'll take a timeout and be back with more of our post-game coverage. 16-0 Chargers win it. This is IHSAA football on Fox Sports, 1250 The Ticket.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far. So they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Joe, I'm down here with senior Lincoln Lance. Congratulations. Boy, defense really carried the day tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, we played real well. We were practiced hard this week, and, we showed it tonight.
Yeah, I thought you guys did a great job defensively. I was talking to Coach. What a grind the schedule is. There's so many good teams, so many challenges. But with that defense, we talked about before the game, you guys are leading 6A in points allowed, and also all the turnovers with all the interceptions you guys have had this year.
Yeah, coming into the season, we wanted to be the best defense in the area. We wanted to be the best defense in the state. That's a goal we had. And last week wasn't a great week for us. We didn't play as good as we could have. So this week we focused up in practice, had to get at the ball, cause turnovers, and we did that tonight.
Yeah, it seemed like that tonight. And as far as you're having a great senior year. I see it's interesting. A lot of times the safeties don't lead teams in tackles. You make a lot of tackles. What's it mean to you to get up and play for Carroll and to wear the blue and white and to be part of this program and play for Coach Dinan?
I love this program. Growing up, I grew up on this side of town. I'd come to the games on Friday nights, elementary school, middle school, and being able to play on a Friday night's so real. It's nothing like playing a Friday night at Carroll High School, and it's just great. The coach is great, team's great, and I couldn't ask for better teammates.
Well, congratulations. You're an all-conference safety. And my vote, I vote for you all-conference. You're having a great season, and good luck the rest of the year. And you tell those guys to heal up because that 6A playoff's going to be a lot of fun. Good luck.
Thank you.
See you, bud. Good luck, man.
Joe Walburn with the interview from Parkview brought to you as that was Lincoln Lance on the conversation. Again, we'll continue with the Walburn Financial Management postgame show. 16-0 Carroll wins it here tonight at Zoller Stadium. And this is IHSAA football on Fox Sports 1250 The Ticket.
The Ackee Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Ackee Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors...
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
that for sure.
Good kick.
I mean, it's not 58 degrees out there anymore.
That's the earliest we would have gotten done.
The kid was good, really articulate.
Really nice kid. Thanks for being patient.
Yeah.
And that's about as friendly as Coach Dinan gets.
Yeah.